How many of us did they kill? Like 5.
No.
I'm gonna just point out.
We went down like Nephis went down like
Anton.
twice.
Yes.
Anton went down at least once.
No, I
Right?
went down twice.
I would have to be an 11th level warrior to hit as many times as they did.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It was ridiculous.
Seeker,
dude.
that is so fucking loud. I cannot hear anything above that. So fucking loud.
Prepare for a battle, Chris. Oh, you.
Oh no!
You want to play that game, buddy? I'll win, but I'll
Okay,
lose.
okay,
Actually, I will
okay.
win, and everybody will lose at the same time.
But we're only 2 minutes from D&D.
I knew it was gonna be.
We don't have time for music battles.
I knew it was gonna be funny. I'm sorry.
Dance battle. Was funny. Okay, a quick lore slash map update. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, a lore slash map update. It doesn't really matter. It's the world map. It has nothing to do with the map that we're currently going to be referencing. But seeing as everybody's in game, if you notice on the world map, there's a country called Cairona, which is where you are currently. It is now going to be known as the West Marches because it was always supposed to be like that. It's not one kingdom. It's a collection of smaller kingdoms.
Where is this? Sorry, I was tapped out.
The West March is
Cairona.
located in the east.
Well, I don't see Hyonia.
It's right above Nicia.
Cairona,
Oh,
Yeah, it's right above
Hyonia.
Nicia.
Okay, yeah.
Or the keys.
Kingdom of Bonerland or whatever the fuck it is right next to it. That's the
Bonerland.
same. But then on the other side of the river, or on the other side of the sea, there's the Kingdom of Ruveria. That is the same. But the town names in the other two kingdoms might change. Just because the generator that I was using, it's not all of it's France. It's not all France. There's some of it that is French, which is sadly the place that you're in. But
Why are the West
the map,
Marches
some
in
of
the
the city
east?
names. How are they in the east?
They're in the middle.
They're on the east side of
Yeah.
this landform.
So there are 3 distinct cultural groups of I guess 4 distinct cultural groups of human kingdoms. So there's the Norse, which are obviously up in the north. There's the Tarvians, which belong in the south. There's the Castilians, which are in the far west, and then there are the basically the collection is called the Marches, but it's the West Marches, Boneria, and Riveria. Those are also human kingdoms. So culturally, Tarvia is obviously more like the Romans. The Norse are the Norse. The Castilians is Spanish, and then the West Marches are French European. Boneria is German European, and then Riveria is Gaelic European.
So
That's
are
why
in France.
it's the West.
God.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But you're like in France when it was cool, when they had like knights and
Oh yeah, when they were
cholera.
beheading people. Awesome.
Taking over the world. Awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, when they were like a legitimate threat to society.
When the
I'm
entire country was rioting. Hell yeah.
dude.
No, that's not fucking medieval France. That's like Renaissance France, when they realized that the people had rights and they could just lop off the heads of anybody in government. They're like, oh, hey, this works really well.
Yeah.
Before that, though, when they were like scared of God and
Good old
couldn't read.
days.
Yeah, the good old days. That's
Yeah.
the time period
Old days
book
are
that
burning.
comes from.
Say shit.
Why do I feel
same
as a
thing, like-
Tarvian? Why do I feel as a Tarvian I'm in great danger?
You're not in great danger. There are no current wars between any of the human kingdoms. Well, I guess technically there's 5, because the Dordi and Khaganate are mostly human as well.
Yeah, I was at war
But
with
they're
them.
Yeah, but they're
Was part
dirty,
of that.
filthy horse people.
Wait, they're centaurs? What the fuck?
No, they're Mongolians last I checked.
Oh.
Seeker wanted to be a centaur bard.
Huns and Mongolians.
My first D&D character was a centaur, even though it was illegal to play that back then.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, so basically, here, let's do this real easy.
So that means that
That'd be fun.
your first experience
So
into D&D.
essentially, all of this is medieval European. I believe
Yes, and I played an
this,
anthro horse
for the most part,
20
is
years
Spanish
ago.
European.
No, I was going to
That's
say you were a
Mongolian.
smuggler.
What?
You were a smuggler.
here's,
You
like, the
smuggle
Norse.
legal things into the game.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's all Rome. Everything else is non-human.
30 non-humans.
Righto.
Ugh.
Now, Carlos, you can't say that. We have a Dragonborn and a Drow with us.
Yeah, but
Dirty,
Both of which we
non-humans.
love
Say it
very,
again.
very much.
Dirty non-humans.
Yeah.
Hey, I clean myself.
At least it's better than not
Clean
being
myself.
creative.
I lick my ass.
Vine boom.
Kardoc
That's a
really
asks
good question,
if-
because
if
Cthulhu has
Carlos
like
can be in the
feathers and
Air
stuff.
Force.
Do you do like the Dragonborn equivalent of like kitty yoga, where you just sit on the bed and like stare someone directly in the eyes and lick your asshole, or what?
Oh,
I gotta know
let's
this.
Possible.
not.
Have we all just been like
Oh.
sitting in the infirmary with
She
that
hasn't
going
had-
on?
She hasn't had enough drinks yet.
It just
Christ.
everyone's sick. Someone looks over just because they're too bored. They see Cthulhu sitting there. Oh,
What the fuck is going
Slow lick up the leg.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you. All right, I definitely I've not had enough to drink for this. Fuck.
No.
Nor will I,
Zane, you
because
fucking
I.
killed us.
No.
It's a
Yeah,
Pepsi.
well.
It's a fucking Pepsi. I opened a can of Pepsi. It's okay.
This is
Calm
what you-
down.
This is what you all get for removing the knotted coupled from my life.
All right, we're 4 minutes past. Let's fucking get off this. Oh my god.
Okay.
Righto.
Hi.
I don't like gross stuff. Okay, we keep gross stuff out of this.
Like gross stuff like blood and violence.
Filthy non-humans.
Zane has read my character sheet. Hell yeah, dude.
I can see through the fog
Okay,
of war.
So where last we left off, and through the week's dialogue chat, you've been resting up in the infirmary of this monastery. To refresh everybody's memory, you are outside of the town of Monto, which you're like northwest of the town of Monto. No, but that information, if asked, would be freely given. So your location is not being kept a secret from you, just in
That
case
we
anybody
know of.
was to speak to a member of the monastery. That is the info you would be given. Also, to those of you who are topographically inclined, as you were flying over landmasses, maybe upon consulting a map, you might have been put that together. But I will leave that up to you, deciding if your characters would care enough to do that.
She would have flown away, dude. Okay, I'm sorry.
Vin already being traumatized would be very like fearful of falling off of a fucking winged beast.
Beast.
He wishes that he could have flown under better circumstances.
Yes.
Just to double check, we had a long rest, so we got all our hit points back. All of that is back.
Yeah, you guys have been like resting and recuperating from your wounds for a couple days.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, dude.
due to the
Peter's still
grievous
on his
nature of your
ass.
injuries and
Is Peter in a coma?
yeah. Peter is
Sleeping
not there
face Down.
Huh?
Wait,
Oh.
he's not
during
here?
the healing. He like he's not in the room during the healing, as due to the fact that he is in a monastery. He went and spent time with the clergy
Oh,
and just has not returned.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like he fucking up and disappeared. No, he's spending his time meditation and prayer.
the
Just
clergy
as much of a harrowing experience. Yeah, it's a
Is-
monastery. It's a
yeah.
religious place.
is okay. Is this a monastery of Ilmater?
This is a monastery that has symbols to Ilmater, but it is not exclusively dedicated to him.
Hmm.
Interesting. All right.
I wonder how Peter would feel about that. I don't know what Ilmater is like for worshipping multiple deities.
Find out.
Oh,
Oh my.
Peter
Well,
is
just based
busy.
off of like the opening blurb.
it's loaded.
Oh my god.
He's the incarnation of compassion, in the eternal flow of suffering. I feel like he would
The
be okay with
mind-broken god.
other gods existing.
Oh, I'm
Good to
sure
know.
Peter knows there's other gods.
Even if he
does.
did, I don't think he'd really care.
Well, I don't know if Ilmater's religion. What I'm trying to say is, does Ilmater's religion say that other deities are false prophets or something?
No,
Okay.
no. Very specifically, Ilmater's ability to essentially forgive and attempt to lessen or take on the pain of other people's suffering does not him seem like a jealous god. The recognition of other people's beliefs and the ability to still help them out shows exactly how dedicated he is to make people's lives better. Whether or not Peter himself chooses to believe that Ilmater is the one true god and, you know, all other religions are fucking garbage is up to Peter. However, the existence of other religions and other gods and other worshippers would be known to him through his studies.
Sounds like some pussy shit.
Oh, hello.
Did
The
Carlos find anything of note while he was like exploring?
you would have definitely caught a few things would have caught your eye in different little pulpits and sepulchers and all these different parts of various chapels inside the monasteries itself have trinkets, iconography, some relics, such like that would catch your eye.
Oh.
The most obvious and eye-widening of which is a chalice made seemingly of solid gold and around I don't know enough about cup architecture, but you know, it's like a chalice, and around the wide part where it holds all the liquid, there are rubies embedded.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But it is like very obviously on a pedestal in the middle of a room designed as a
So-
focus for worship. So it's not just like sitting in a corner somewhere. It's
Yeah.
a
So it would be
treasured
noticed
icon or
immediately.
relic.
Carlos
Yeah.
Carlos likes money, but he's not dumb about it.
Time to bankroll getting my things back. Teehee.
Hell yeah.
That hat was expensive. He needs a new hat.
Walk back into the infirmary. Yeah, something came up, guys. I gotta go. Good luck.
We should leave. We've overstayed our welcome, and by we I mean me, and you must go too.
speaking of stuff, just to double check, we also still have the equipment from the arena. So leather armor, if we got it, weapons, any of that, or was that removed for the time being?
I would stipulate that the two individuals who were so fucked up that they were basically unconscious on the ground probably don't have any of their weapons, but you all still have your armor and other things that were secured to your body. Those of you who willingly leapt into the claws of the eagles, or however you chose to become transported, you would have all of your shit, unless you just decided to eat a spear off into the ocean.
So that means Anton's only got leather armor for right now.
Eat a
Oh
spear
yeah,
off
you were
the eagle
fucked
as
up,
we
weren't you?
I
He's gonna
was
fly
fucked
by
up.
it.
Yes.
I was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
has
My
a
statement
dagger.
comes off of the basis that somebody who is unconscious probably would not be able to maintain a grasp on their weapon as they're being carried through the air.
I wonder if
at
this
a
leather armor's even good anymore
significant
after,
speed.
after that.
Yeah. Hope you're good at sewing, buddy.
I know how to work Smith's tools. I don't know how to do that.
I have some questions and perhaps a history check for you, Chris.
Hell yeah.
Okay, ask your questions and I'll let you know if you need to do a history check.
Of the people in the monastery, are they all like clearly like clergymen and like people of the cloth, or are there also like people seeking just like normal people like seeking this place out of like pilgrimage or something?
So there are some pilgrims. There are also a few travelers who have chosen to, and they would have like come and gone, so they're not there the whole time you're there. But there are a few travelers that have been stopping in and out, just as a resting point on their travels. There are some pilgrims who have come to worship. Aside from that, the permanent, I'll call them the permanent staff, sort of the monastery, fall into about 3 groups. The largest group of which would be the monks and nuns who basically run and work the place. They're the ones who are changing your bed sheets and helping dress your wounds, and they're also making the food and tending to the courtyard, etc., etc. So they are wearing simple habits that are, just rough brown fabric that are kept together by red cord, all that. And some of them will have different symbols of worship on their coats, depending on which of the religions they may follow, and some of them have none, just simply choosing to serve the life of a monk. Then there are the worshipping clergy, and those are the faithful. Those are the priests and the ministers and such like that, and they're conducting the prayers, and they're tending to the religious needs of the monastery as well. They're a smaller number than the monks, but they are no less ever present. The third group are armed, not quite a militia, but there are some soldier types. They're still dressed in fairly simple clothes, but they are much more martial in appearance, and those of you who have been wandering around the monastery would have seen them drilling in their own little side yard and going out hunting and doing other such activities as that.
Are there any parts
They don't
of the
keep
monastery?
an active watch on the gate.
Are there any parts of the
sorry.
monastery
Continue.
that are like off limits?
The only doors that are kept shut are personal quarters of the various the more notables, like the abbess and the abbot. Their doors are, closed for the sake of privacy. And same with a lot of the clergy, because they have their own rooms. The monks sleep in dormitories. The nuns sleep in a different dormitory, as would be very common. The only other doors that are shut is the place where Nephis, Vinshenzo, and I think it was Carlos. Yeah, Nephis, Vinshenzo, and Carlos, the place they were led to where Nephis experienced that angel. That is the only other place where the doors are closed.
Okay. Could I do a history check on the fine goblet with rubies to discern its antiquity and its value, perhaps, and what if it's like a religious symbol or not? Can I do that?
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah. 18 plus 3 over 20.
God damn. Well done.
It was a good glass.
Yeah.
So this is
21.
very much a religious symbol. So you can tell that this was a masterpiece that somebody had donated to this monastery or had been recovered somehow, and it is specifically dedicated to a deity known as Gond, the god of craft. And it is there as an homage to the gods. Somebody had put a lot of time and effort and fortune into donating this piece to the church, to the monastery, in recognition of their devotion to this god.
It seems very special. Could I at all discern like an approximate value from that, or?
Yep. So it's probably worth 80 gold pieces just for the gold itself, and then the gems, each of those gems is about the size of a marble. Which, given the size of that cup and its value, like each one of those, if appraised, could probably fetch you another good 20 to 50 gold per gem. This is a piece of treasure. Somebody really wanted to get into heaven.
So this is something made by like a follower. It's not like a godly artifact.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Alright.
not something that came down from an immortal plane. This was crafted through the hands of people.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have for now. What a fine piece. A peculiar relic.
What a queer relic.
No.
Well, that's cool and all, but time for some real excitement. I'm going to the Eastern Library.
Ooh.
Okay.
And you told me to keep notes on what was in the library, so let me... Eastern Library was historical records, I believe. So
Eastern Library was historical records. Okay.
Yeah, and then the Western was more diverse in religious and historical texts.
Okay.
Quote unquote.
Can I seek out and speak to Khutula? Or is Khutula hidden in the library, buried in a book?
I mean, sure you could catch me on the way out. I was in the room with everyone else.
I would like to catch Qali as well.
Oh.
No. What do you want?
Oh.
Oh, look out, Khutula.
She just want to read a damn book.
Maybe I would talk to Peter, but no. Miss Khutula, there's a fine piece of gobletry in the main chamber. perhaps I speaking for myself, you are much more skilled in the mystic arts than me. Perhaps you could examine it and see if there's any mystical properties to it.
He takes a moment to process the words that left your mouth as they're somewhat foreign to her. Sure. I don't really know what I can find out, but I'll give it a shot. I feel like the libraries would have more on it if I check it out, I know what to look for.
Whatever you think is best, please let me know if you find anything.
Uh-huh.
Nephis would roll in behind Vin and speak to Khutula as well. Little one, I have a request to make from you.
Okay.
When we first got here, Vin, Carlos, and I encountered some sort of being. I was wondering if you could research or do whatever it is you do with books.
He kind of like pauses for a moment and thinks and just goes, do you have any other information aside from just a being?
They showed me visions, and Vin and Carlos both passed out. I don't know exactly what happened to them.
He looks like a little
Tell 'em,
nervous.
Vin.
But
Am I nearby?
yeah, he's right behind you.
It
Yeah.
was simply magical trickery. Nephis. Mr. Nephis.
They showed me things I would have never seen. They showed me visions.
Yes, a man who lives in the outlands and forages around for food may not be as familiar with the mystic arts as someone like me or Khutula.
She kind of like rubs a little nervously at her shoulder at the
I'm growing quite frustrated about this notion of divine intervention, as if you as if you are special, Mr. Nephis, please.
Yet you passed out. Same with Carlos. Weak-willed.
Khutula obviously becoming uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, I'll see what I can find. Okay, bye.
Something's happening. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
She scurries away to
Be
figure out
quiet
what
in the library.
Thank you.
She goes to try and find the
Some
goblet
old-
that Vin was talking about.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Can I cast Charm Person on Nephis?
Oh
I
no.
don't need components.
No.
The answer is yes, you can. And Nephis would have to make a wisdom saving throw. So, yeah. Yeah, you can.
Oh shit.
Mr. Nephis, I've had quite enough of this drivel coming from your mouth. Oh. What do I do to calculate?
7 plus.
So, you don't have to do anything. He has to make a wisdom saving throw based off of your spell casting, whatever.
Oh, 7 plus 4.
Spell save DC.
So 13? Or no, sorry.
Why are
11.
you rolling?
Oh, I understand now. Okay,
You
yeah.
got-
18.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to
What
roll
the
wisdom
fuck is
saving
with
throw,
your
and he's got to
spell
beat an 18.
It's my charisma.
He's got a lot of charisma.
I
Very
would,
charismatic.
have a 7.
Wouldn't it be 14?
No, because we don't roll dice.
No, but you have +4 charisma. Wouldn't your spell save be 10 plus 4?
Oh,
Or
is
whatever
that
the
what
fuck
it,
the
okay,
thing
14.
is.
Okay, I'll look that up later. Either way, I think
Oh.
Nephis fails,
So-
right?
Yeah.
Correct.
If you got a 7, So I will read the spell description just for the sake of Nephis and everybody else. So, you attempt to charm a humanoid that you see within range. It must wait and make a Wisdom saving throw, and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it, which doesn't apply to you. If you fail the saving throw, if it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends, or until you and your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. Just want to make sure
With
that
advantage, that means
all
I get
those
to
little
roll
details
again
are-
and see. What,
No. That's if you're actively being attacked by, like, if Khutula and Vin were like punching you in the face, you'd get to roll advantage. But because they were not taking turns giving you the old left hook.
Copy that.
The idea of Cthulhu punching somebody, oh my god.
I cast magic missile.
Just fucking explode. Just a slightly heated argument. Just fucking implode.
I cast shatter on the both of them.
Conflict,
I
okay?
whisper words of Sylvan or Sylvan at Nephis, and let him be overcome by my mystical words of charming.
Of Dr. Orpheus.
This
Dr.
isn't gonna be
Oids.
happy after this.
No, kitty.
No, kitty, no!
You wanted to step on the power strip button again.
It glows.
Sound.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Okay, so Nephis has been charmed.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
I snap.
Hello. Hello, Vin.
I snap my fingers and end the spell.
Oh,
What was that? What did you do to me, Vin?
it,
The same kind of trickery. Albeit probably not as powerful.
wow!
Amazing.
What a fucking shit! Sorry.
Damn. He's like, see? It's that easy.
Oh my god.
Fucking
Perhaps
Vin
you're
just casually charming Nephis to prove a point. I love it.
Nephis would make his way back to his
Oh,
bed.
thank you.
A powerful wizard could do far greater than what I am capable of, Mr. Nephis.
Then we should be worried.
Hell yeah. He's convinced.
Wow, that's fucking nuts.
Yo, what that is, that's fucking good roleplay. That's fucking cool. Well done, sir. You get a point of inspiration for that.
Oh shit, wait a second. I think we all have inspiration, don't we?
Yeah.
We already do.
Who gets inspiration? Nephis?
You!
Me?
Vinshenzo, Cairona, and Nephis
Oh my
for
god.
playing that out really well.
Now I have 3.
Plus 1. Oh, fuck.
Let me write that down.
I forgot we all had one inspiration, that's right.
It is that easy to corrupt the mind.
Now to Cthulhu, I guess?
I'm gonna look at this cup.
Okay.
Use your arcana.
There's nothing preventing
abilities.
you from touching it, and there's nobody around to stop you from touching it either.
I rub my
We're just
hands
looking
together.
at it, or
Oh no!
All right. Let's try. I shiftily look around, and I approach the goblet, and I place my tiny little hand upon it.
Okay.
I would like to do an Arcana check on it.
You may do that. All I was gonna say is your tiny little hand leaves a tiny little smudge.
Hee hee.
Oh my.
It was Ludwig.
You've defiled the gods.
12 plus 5, 17.
There's nothing arcane about this. It is a mundane object in terms of magic properties.
Ah. She lets out a huff of disappointment. I will try a history check on it.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cup, all right.
17 tabs open, and 3 of them have to do with cups.
I got an
What'd you get?
11.
Oh.
What's fine gobletry?
So you're not quite sure of the design where it might have originated, but you're aware that this chalice is probably used during ceremonies of some sort for religious practices.
I guess I'll do a religion check then. I don't know if that applies to this though, but
It does.
It's
Yeah,
a
it
holy
does.
icon. Absolutely.
You're specifically looking at the religious significance of this.
I got an 11.
Again?
Yeah, again.
Wow.
Consistent.
Rolled a 6 twice in
That's
a row.
a solid roll.
Weighted dice.
You're aware that this, whatever the ceremonies are, due to the fact that Gond, you know a little bit about him because he's the god of craftsmanship, and it
fire.
has nothing about him or the people who worship him are very delicate or overly formal in their ceremonies. So likelihood is that probably was just a really fancy cup gifted to another church for their ceremonies. It's sort of like a, I don't know, the religious equivalent of a friendship bracelet, essentially. Like, we love you a lot. Here's this thing. It's from us who worship our god to you.
I take a piece of cloth and I attempt to wipe the smudge before absconding.
Ooh. Big word. I like it.
But I don't put that much effort into it. I just try to get out.
Okay. The teeny tiny smudge is a little bit less teeny tiny now.
It's bigger?
Yeah. Have you ever tried to just quickly wipe a smudge? It just gets bigger.
Oh no, Khutula's making it
Oh,
worse.
Fuck. Oh shit.
Khutula starts to panic.
Damn
What?
you,
Half
Vin.
magic missile.
Aha. But it's too
Shatter!
big for my tiny hand to make. I will escape.
Ah.
I'm a
What's
genius.
going on, Fire?
Indeed.
It's fucking adorable.
Alright. I'm gonna go to the actually, if it's religious related, I'm actually gonna check out the Western Library and see if I can find something related to whoever is here and understand more of them, because that has more diverse religious and historical texts.
Yes,
Or
it
just
does.
see whatever might
Um,
catch my eye.
In the Western Library. Okay. So you're just generally looking around to see what's there. You're not delving into any specific knowledge.
At the end of last session, I kind of like briefly scanned through already, so I'm not sure if I might have like a general idea of where specific sections might be.
Yeah, it is a lot more like your typical library that a person would walk into, where it has like different sections dedicated to different topics. And while they are, like I said, specifically more into like religious and more diverse historical texts, the difference between what's in this library and what's in the other one is the other one. Wait, did you get a chance to look in the Eastern one? I can't remember. You were on your way to
I
do it,
briefly
and then I
checked
think
out both
you-
of them because I was checking out the compound and I was exploring the libraries, but very briefly because I just
Yeah.
became tired.
Okay,
and went
so
to rest.
the Eastern Library is more of essentially like not quite a records room, but it has historical accounts of certain actions.
Okay.
Whereas this Western Library is a lot more of for somebody who just wants to read about things. So it has a bunch of different manuscripts and treaties and proses, volumes of some guy who's traveled the world, or botanical texts and other such things. So it's a lot more diverse, and it's a lot more speculative than it is quantitative information. It's for the religious texts. Some of them are actually holy texts. Some of them are, again, just published works of notable preachers or details of miracles that have happened, other such accounts. It's a lot more, like I said, for somebody who wants to sit down and learn or just dive into a good book.
All right. I will explore and see if I can find anything about like the region we were in with the vampires, and see if I can learn more about the region and maybe more about the vampires themselves.
Nisia?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming you're just gonna basically bury yourself in books for
so
a day,
few hours.
maybe two.
Yeah.
So the result of your research, given the amount of time that you're taking, anytime you want to recall knowledge on vampires or on the history of the Isle of Nicaea itself, you will gain advantage on that history check
All right.
pertaining to those two topics. Isaac, what you doing, buddy? What's going on?
Not much.
Okay, cool. Good talk.
I think he's trying to see what the other characters are doing.
I think so too.
Look, he's taking it easy. He went down to 8
Yeah.
HP twice.
Well, I mean, take it easy, but take it.
Yes.
But
Okay, so you're just kind of hanging out, recuperating, just waiting for the next thing to happen.
I mean, if you're looking for other people to do things, I think the only other thing, Anton might go see if he can find the Eagle Riders and probably go thank them for rescuing him. So, in the party.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know where I'd find them, though.
Yeah, you can do that. If you were wandering around at all, were you bedridden? Did you choose to stay in bed and recover, or would Anton have discovered a little bit more about the monastery around him?
I stayed in bed.
Okay.
So, I would have to go exploring.
It's not a super big monastery, and as you explore through the grounds, you do find the martial yard, which does contain some of the men and women who are drilling and practicing, or just generally performing day-to-day routines of those who are part of a fighting force. It's not just humans. You can see a few dwarves as well as two elves that are just going about their business. Some of them you do. Oh no, you wouldn't have recognized them because you were unconscious. Never mind. So you don't recognize any of them.
Nope,
Fuck you.
I wouldn't recognize any of them. Nope.
What about your good friend Ludwig?
He was up with you
Ludwig's
guys.
been hanging out with you guys. He's in the dormitory.
Oh, not with me.
You know, he did not go out and brood outside like fucking Bruce Wayne Batman man. He was in the dormitory with all the people who are, you know, actually sick and injured.
But yeah, Anton wouldn't have known about that. The other thing I want to ask is, would Anton have known about Cecilia dying?
I don't think
It
any of
was
us are
not.
really aware. Except Ludwig, maybe.
Ludwig did convey it, but he didn't convey it loudly or with purpose. I think it was like basically briefly mentioned because the priority was getting everybody rested. So
Anton may or may not actually know about
nobody's
that
really
then.
talked about it. No, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. But yeah, if I could find those writers, I'd like to thank them for rescuing I and the party, and then probably start making my way back to bed. I haven't seen Cecilia. I'd imagine I'd probably be noticing that missing person, but yeah.
She's definitely not made her appearance known. Oh no. Oh, okay. Kardoc, who does that? Never mind. Fuck! I was like, shit. There's a heist going on in the background. Fuck.
Oh no.
Kardoc used his disguise kit to look like Khutula so he could
Hell
steal the
yeah.
goblet.
No. Carlos, you bastard.
The only thing he hasn't paid attention to is the fact that he doesn't have a teeny tiny hand that leaves teeny tiny smudges.
Or has a tail.
I will seek out Ludwig
Oh, yeah.
von Hassbrand.
He ain't got no feathers no more
Yeah.
because they stole his hat. Bitch.
Yep.
So Anton, you do eventually find the writers, all three of them, and they do appreciate your thanks. Each of them clasp your hand in recognition of a fellow warrior before you return to your bed.
Thank you. I think that'll be all Anton will do for the time being, unless we're ready to go somewhere.
Okay. Vinshenzo searches for Ludwig.
Do I find him?
Yeah, he's not hiding from you. He's in the dormitory with everybody else.
You.
I mean, I guess he kind of is hard to find because he's like 2 feet tall.
It's getting shorter.
He's like Benjamin Button, except he doesn't get older. He just gets shorter.
The arena did a number on him.
Mr. Brandt,
Not compacted.
would you care to explain to me how exactly you were able to orchestrate or summon these giant birds and men of cloth and so forth?
Ludwig shrugs his shoulders and tells you, "It wasn't me. It was Cecilia. She's been one of them this whole time."
Oh Jesus Christ! He's even turned German.
Fuck. This is like making me angry in real life. How completely convenient. I storm off. I try to find Carlos.
Oh my God!
Carlos would be sitting on his bed, doodling on his map.
Oh my God!
Wake up, dipshit. I say to Carlos, never mind, I don't say anything. I'm done. I walk
Wow.
away.
He's just so fucking
He's so fucking done. He just like looks at
walks
Carlos.
into the
like,
room.
opens his
He's
mouth,
shit.
just fucking leaves.
He has trouble.
can't-
He's having trouble trusting people.
Yeah, I know.
He's at his limits. He's stressed out.
Hell yeah, dude.
Give the guy some slack, will you? Okay, fine. I talked to Carlos. Ow!
Wow. He comes back in the room again.
He stubs his
I
toe on one
come
of the
back
beds.
in the room. Mr. Santiago, may I speak to you in confidence?
So,
Ooh.
Carlos would take a few more moments to finish what he was writing on his map before looking up at Vin and noticing how agitated he appears. So he would carefully fold up his map and get off his bed and indicate that he was ready to follow him to wherever.
I lead Carlos into the woods for the
Oh,
ultimate
no.
betrayal. Into the wilderness.
You're done, kiddo.
Nah, I just go outside and speak
Into the
in
light.
whispers. Carlos, I'm sure you've seen the goblet in the main chamber, haven't you?
Carlos would give Vin an odd look before acknowledging that yes, I've seen it. It's hard not to notice it. Looks very well done. Looks very expensive.
Yes, well, in dealing with a fine piece of artisanal craftsmanship in the past, I give Carlos like the info on the appraisal. I was able to make a rough appraisal on the value of such a piece. I think if we could lift that artifact and perhaps pry a few jewels from it, we could make way out of here by nightfall and fund our travel away from this dreaded place.
So Carlos would give Vin kind of a surprised look because he didn't really expect Vin to advocate stealing anything, because Vin seemed like he's too noble to do such a thing. So Carlos would noticeably soften his voice as he continued. Vin, are you actually suggesting that we acquire this artifact from these people and be on our way? Like, are you actually trying to convince me to do this?
I've seen you, Carlos. I saw you lift that bag of jewels from those halflings. Those silly halflings.
Oh, they never paid us for our help, so it seemed only fair.
You are a skilled thief, are you not, sir? I see how you walk. The lightness of your step.
I'm quite proficient with my hands, if you'd decide to describe it that way, yes.
Being a noble myself, would I know that Carlos's fake ring was fake? I know
entirely depend on how well he did it.
I know this is in the past, so well, it's not like it's not something he made. It's like from his past, isn't it?
Yeah, it was something that Carlos had made for him by like another person that was skilled in making like counterfeit jewelry and whatnot. So unless Vin got like a good look at it, I don't think he would have noticed anything off about it. Because being what it is, it had to be designed to look as, real as possible.
But I would recognize the crest upon it. Any family of true note, I would recognize the.
Yep. True. That might be. I mean, if it was like a very very big family, I mean, you got to remember that he's from like a very different part of the world from here. So I don't know how long Vinshenzo might have spent, but traveling the world. But like, how do I fuck? Like, that's that gigantic purple dot is vaguely where Carlos is from. At least that's where his ancestry is from. Yeah, he's not local boy.
Well, I never like examined the ring closely, but I feel like in like conversation, Vin would be like, "Oh, that is a fine ring you wear, Carlos. Tell me about your heritage. I am from pure blood.
I feel like we're backstepping and way more than is.
Okay, so it's not. I wouldn't be able to tell like retroactive. All right, that's fair.
You couldn't think in your head and go, "Ah, yes, this was clearly a ring of the Count of Defy," or something like that. Like
Carlos clearly doesn't have it anymore, so
I know. I'm just asking if I would have known it was fake.
At most, you probably wouldn't have recognized.
I'm gonna, call it a big no, because there was never any specific attention put towards that ring.
I'm not arguing. I'm agreeing.
I'm agreeing too. I'm glad we're all agreeing.
Okay.
Probably would recognize that the family, the crest on there was not from a notable family, so.
Desperate times, Mr. Santiago.
Oh, I'm not entirely opposed to the idea. It did look pretty valuable. And there is a town nearby, from what I've been able to tell. Probably wouldn't have too much difficulty as long as there's, the kind of people that would take such a thing.
You're not honestly considering fencing the goblet, as it were.
No. Obviously, we'd have to break it down, as you said, pull the gems off. The gems would be easy enough to pawn, and then perhaps we could contract a blacksmith and have it melted down into a small ingot, and that would probably be better.
Well, I was thinking once we were on our feet again, we could post it back to the monastery, but
either way, I think we should. They mentioned before that they would maybe not return our lost items, but at least provide something as compensation for what we've gone through. You should probably at least look into that before we make any hasty decisions. It's not like they are suspicious of us yet.
Carlos, I grow so tired of you.
Think of this, Vin.
Looking at the value of these this game that's just being played all around you. Can't you see?
We have a handful of daggers between us. Only a couple of us are actually armored. We have no food. We have no money. How far do you think we could get in the wilderness, just as we are now? We have, no means of hunting. We would need at least a bow.
We can get to the hamlet down the road, sell a ruby there. Maybe perhaps we don't sell it for as much as it would be worth, but it would be enough to get us on our feet, get some supplies from the locals, and travel into a town proper. I can have an instrument crafted for me.
Fucking instrument. I'll consider it, but that's not the only thing of value here, and there are other things that might be less noticeable if they went missing. So we should at least wait until everyone is on their feet. But I will...
Indeed.
I'll begin contemplating how best to go about it. I'll tell you that much.
It matters not if they notice it's missing, if we keep moving at a good pace.
Well, don't forget they apparently have eagle riders at their disposal. might not be difficult for them to track us down if they notice it within like a matter of hours from when it's gone. We won't be able to make enough ground to
And
evade
what
them.
will they do? Search every passerby on the road to this hamlet, every pilgrim that comes to visit this monastery? We can
Just
move
saying, it
fast
probably
enough,
wouldn't be
Carlos.
hard. Probably wouldn't be hard to notice a group of 6 or 7 or 8 individuals, if Ludwig comes with us again, that are just traveling.
I do not wish to spend another
Just gonna
minute
go
with
pee real
that
quick.
man.
He is, as far as I can tell, he's done nothing wrong. In fact, he came back to save us.
It wasn't him.
He at least told them about us. How else would they have gotten and found us?
He told me that Cecilia that Cecilia was the one who alerted these eagle riders or whatever they are. And apparently in battle she perished. How convenient, I told him.
Are you implying that her death was convenient?
If Ludwig was trying to pull the wool over our eyes, boy, it would be very convenient for the one person to back up his story to be dead.
Sure, I'll grant you that, but why would he be trying to pull the wool over our eyes? We've known him as long as anyone in the group.
It's not Ludwig, can't you see?
Are you saying Ludwig is an imposter?
Oh no!
Or perhaps Ludwig was in cahoots or in bed with the vampires from the beginning. A plant for Artemis Fevriel to keep an eye on us.
So you're okay. Let's assume
Vinshenzo's the kind of
haven't
person who would
found
say
enough
cahoots.
proof to decipher which is more likely, but there's something off about Ludwig. He's not the man he seems to be.
then I fear that this chain of events has left you rather paranoid. I'm not saying it's not warranted. Anyone would be paranoid now based on what has happened, especially if they're not used to such adventures, but to imply that Ludwig was with the vampires, and then the vampires are also somehow with this group who rescued us from the vampires when we were inches from death. How much sense does that make? How much sense does it make?
How did you meet, or how did you come to know Artemis Fevriel?
I just heard rumors. That's all. Heard rumors that there is riches to be found at the sanctuary. And having fled from my homelands due to reasons, I was in need of money, so I thought it would be an easy job, and alas, it was not.
Yes, well, I put a lot of trust in the contacts that referred me to Mr. Fevriel. Perhaps they knew him from a different time.
Indeed, perhaps
I do not
he was
go
not always
chasing
like he is.
rumors, but he came very recommended to me.
Perhaps his betrayal is recent then.
This extends farther than you think, Carlos. Be careful. We have reason to be paranoid. We are away from Nisia. We've been stripped of all of our belongings. Vin makes his wedding ring appear.
Carlos would reach for his hat, which wasn't there.
Several of us have been brought to death's door, no doubt. Mr. Montfort, Mr. Greycastle, Mr. Stormwind, Mr. Nephis, Miss Khutula, all came within a moment's grasp of death. We have every right to be paranoid and concerned. Oh, what is this?
I agree with you. Yes, we do have every reason to be paranoid, especially anyone within Nissia could be pawns of the vampires. I mean, an entire town, the mayor, his assistants,
Exactly,
they're all
Carlos.
in on it. But I don't feel like we have a need to fear these people here that rescued us from the vampires.
Where
That's
did
all
we
I'm saying.
meet
I'm not-
Mr. Von Brandt?
Same place we met most of the party, Sanctuary.
Yes, but he's a rather impolite and withholding fellow.
He is just not good in conversation. He is a very... You saw how he interacted with that poor man that lost
You
his
saw
daughter.
how he was bloodied in the arena, dragged out by
Yes.
the gods, and just mere moments later, it seemed, he called down eagles upon us. These strange eagle riders of this strange monastery nobody's ever been to, none of us know about. You're asking me to trust it for some trinkets and
I'm not asking you to... I'm not asking you to trust them implicitly. I'm just saying that this is a different faction than the vampires. That's all. They might have their ulterior motives as well. They're probably trying to use us to defeat the vampires. I'm not blind to that, but I do believe they are two opposing factions. There's no reason to believe that two factions working together would allow this to happen. They had no reason to spare our lives.
Perhaps. I refuse to play the game anymore, though, Carlos. I will leave at nightfall.
We all have our part to play. This is what life is for those of us that don't have a cushy existence in a noble house.
Vin scoffs and storms off.
Maybe one day he'll realize that most people have to do things they don't necessarily like in order to make a buy in the world.
Like play the fiddle instead of the lute, or whatever the fuck it was that he likes.
Oh, well, Carlos was exploring. Did he ever find like an armory or a weapons storeroom or anything that was not locked, or that he could tell what it was?
The Martial Yard, which is essentially in the northeast corner of the monastery, where the warriors train and just generally sort of spend their time, where they congregate, has a small collection of not meaning like free, but a small collection of weapons and other such things.
And were they like just in the yard, or were they like in a building or something?
They were close to hand, but there were, every single time Carlos went by, there was always one of the warriors there, at least one. Like they spent all of their time there unless they were out doing a job, in which case they would have taken their weapons with them.
So was there like only enough weapons to go around for the warriors?
It appeared as such. And depending on how ballsy Carlos would have been to go into the actual like barrack room where the warriors were bunking, he wouldn't know more.
He'd be fine with like wandering into some place acting like he was supposed to be there. Then if anyone like confronted him, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed in here," and he'd leave.
Can I interrupt?
Well, in that case, you wouldn't have been. Yes.
Can I retroactively change how I stormed out of that conversation?
I'm very interested to hear this. Okay. Let's
Vin scoffs, but before storming out, he says, "Come find me if you want away from this place and want you to keep your sanity, Carlos." Storms off.
Fair enough.
Is Devon, are you here, or are you just still muted in a way?
Nephis is back.
Last I saw you got back a while
If he's
ago.
back, he's still. Yeah, I just want to double check. I wanted to make sure you weren't like.
No, they went out. I'm still in the infirmary.
Oh no, I just wanted to make sure like you, Devon, the person, was back because I didn't see that you had sent it. I saw that you had gone away. I just see that you're. Anyways, let's do with Carlos. So Carlos, yeah, if you would have been totally okay with bumping into the barrack room, just be like, oh sorry. Nobody would have overtly stopped you from going in or pushed you out. Like you would have been greeted with like, you know, a couple guys like sitting on their beds or polishing their swords or playing a game of dice or whatever in the table like inside. They would have definitely stopped and looked at you as though like, hey, there's a person here who doesn't normally come in, kind of thing, you know, the way you do. But nobody would have. Yes. But nobody would have overtly told you to. The room, the main chamber where you would have entered and seen most of the guys, there are 8 beds. There was a round wooden table with 2 chairs, and then there's like an old chest that's been overturned to use as a bench. Tell that there's nothing in it because there was no lid. You can see the hinges pulled off, like it's literally just a makeshift bench. And again, like some dice and scrap parchment for cards and other such idle entertainments. There are 3 other chambers that are off shooting. Depending on how far you wanted to push the hospitality of these guys just sort of staring at you as you walked in, I can tell you more, but it'll look sketchy when you just walk into someone's barracks, check around, and be like, oh, hey, what's going on? I'm just going to look in the back here.
No, Carlos would have just played it
Carlos would have done that or not.
He wouldn't have gotten that far. He would have been like, came in and been like, oh, I was just looking around and wanted to thank you guys for rescuing us, you know, and would have been like, you know, thank you so much, and then he probably would have left after that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I will get you to roll perception retroactively for having gone into that barrack room.
Sure.
Just to see if you noticed a specific detail.
Okay, let's see. 18 plus 6, 19?
Oh my god, there he goes.
Why is Nephis floating up into space?
What?
What?
Chill caught him.
You completely distracted me now. Fuck you. What was I doing? Oh, right. So the 8th bed, farthest away from the entrance on the right side of the room, is sort of dusty, and you can see that a number of belongings have been that were stored in the footlocker and under the bed have been packed and sorted. And you can see on top of these belongings is a very familiar totem that you would have noticed that Cecilia used to wear around her.
Fine, boom.
Time for Carlos to discover the truth.
Fuck, maybe somebody might. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Carlos would go back into the infirmary and he'd head over to Nephis. Is Nephis like conscious right now?
Yeah, he would just be laying on his bed with his arm over his eyes, just resting.
Nephis, my good man, can I have a word with you outside if it isn't too much trouble?
What is it?
Something I noticed. Seems kind of curious to me. Might shed some light on some previous acquaintances.
All right.
And I'm assuming Vin isn't in the infirmary right now.
I don't know.
I don't think he is, but Anton.
We don't know. Where did he storm off to?
Anton's in the
outside.
infirmary.
Why do you ask her?
Okay. All right.
Where
Oh,
am
I
I,
see.
Carlos? I can't see.
Fuck. Okay, does Nephis follow me outside?
Yes.
Okay. So, Nephis, when I was walking around the grounds, exploring, figuring out what's where, I happened to walk into the barracks of where all the warriors are. And I noticed that one of the beds, it seemed like all of the possessions that were once held in the footlocker, they've been placed on the bed, as if the person's no longer there. And one thing I noticed was, did you ever notice that totem that Cecilia carried around? That small totem that she seemed so fond of?
As a player, I honestly don't remember. Was that something that was brought up, though?
It was something that she had. It was never something that she drew specific attention to, but it was an overt detail that was mentioned, and then nobody ever fucking bothered to care. So it's yes, all the characters were aware that it existed, but just everybody thought she was a hippy dippy fucking weird woods lady. So I don't think anybody actually wanted to know more.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed. Go
I
ahead.
remember something, but I don't know much about her. I didn't care much.
I don't think any of us did, but I did notice that she did have this totem she carried around, and unless I'm mistaken, that is the exact totem that she had on her. I think that she was one of these. I think she belonged to this monastery. Why else would her possessions be pulled out of her bed at the end of the barracks? I think that maybe she was sent to find us and, I don't know, analyze us.
Yet another lie.
It just seems weird. I think that maybe everything that's happened up to this point was orchestrated by one side or the other. And it seems that this faction has been in play for longer than we believe. That's how they found us. It's why they took interest, is because she was watching us and trying to gauge how useful we would be to them. I'm just not sure if we should trust them if they haven't been very forthcoming. Vin is...
I will point out as a note of record that nobody has said anything to you, mostly because for the past several days the characters have been like resting and healing from their wounds. So,
Yeah, I'm more referring to the fact that Cecilia withheld that information.
yeah, I'm just pointing it out as a point of note to make sure that it's not like everybody's ignoring them at the monastery. It's literally just been let to rest and recover. This is a administrative check in the box note.
Copy. What were you gonna say, Devon?
Oh, I kind of forgot. Carlos, you seem like a good man, but there is something wrong here. Vin keeps on calling it a game. I know I'm not very intellectually adept to your guys' culture, but I know I know when something's off and something's not right here.
I agree with that much, but Vin seems to feel that everything is a conspiracy, and he wants nothing. He wants nothing of it anymore. He came to me. You stupid.
Would be stupid.
He came to me earlier, just a few moments ago, and he wants all of us to leave here and just try to find our way back to our homes. He wants us to take what we can from them here and leave during the night.
I wouldn't
I
want
told
to
him
make
I wasn't
enemy
sure.
of these people. That being, if it is a wizard, if it is what it says it is, I'm sure it could track us down, and it might even know what we're planning, or what you're planning.
Wow. I told him as much. I said, surely the things that they value here that would be valuable that we could use to fund our ways back home, it would be noticed quickly that they were missing. And they have eagles, of course, that they could send out to find us. There's no way we would be able to make enough ground before they came across us again. Or let's say they do have wizards or whatever it is from yesterday, and perhaps they could find us through magical means. I don't know. I don't think he's thinking clearly. I think he's just scared and wants to get out of here.
Aye.
Anyway, I just wanted to tell someone, I guess, that I think we've been led along this path from the get-go, and this group may be better than the vampires, no doubt. They seem to have their own ulterior motives. And I think they want to use us to defeat the vampires. I don't know how much I care. I do want to get back at them for what they've done, but I need to know if they consider us expendable, because I don't want to be a pawn like that again, just to be used up and thrown away. I want something I can do to make something of myself and be able to retire one day in luxury. Surely you have family that you want to get back to as well, but you wouldn't want to come back to them empty-handed, right?
More than anything.
We all have our reasons for being here. We all had reasons for wanting to go on this quest, be it gold or just to have an adventure, but I need something. I haven't been this destitute in years.
Perhaps we should have a hearing with the higher ups here, with everyone present this time.
That would be a good idea. I think the entire party, have everyone together and ask them to speak plainly and see what
Nephis
they
would
say.
Turn around and immediately go trying to find the higher ups.
Oh, he's immediately going? Okay.
Yes.
We should go do this. All right, I'm going. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, Carlos wouldn't object to him just leaving, I guess, but he would go and attempt to find Vin. He would assume that Vin was somewhere outside of the monastery. So, because he would have observed Vin leaving before he went into the infirmary, so he would have at least seen the direction that he was going.
No, we both went outside, and I stayed outside.
Oh, so we're like outside of the monastery proper.
Yeah,
Not just
I would be
outside of the
easy to
infirmary.
find. I'm waiting for you to reply to my request.
All right, so yeah, Carlos goes out and he looks for Vin.
Mr.
And he said,
Santiago,
Carlos, don't leave me on red.
have you changed your mind?
I'm still undecided, but there's something that I found, and Carlos would explain the exact same thing that he had discovered and told to Nephis about Cecilia and how she was likely part of this faction and was probably sent to appraise our value or something like that. And he would wait for Vin's reaction to that news.
It is an interesting puzzle piece in the mystery. So you
Indeed.
do now realize that we are not being told the full story.
Yes, I've known that for a while, ever since the vampires took us in that such a way. I regret not fighting the guards while we had a chance back in the tavern, but that is neither here nor there. Regardless, I told Nephis what I'd learned, and he agrees that something is not right. I believe he went to try to find the higher-ups of the monastery. He is going to demand to speak with them, all of us together, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this. And if they aren't forthcoming to how far we feel they should be, then I'll be more inclined than not to go with you.
Very well.
I just ask that you wait until we have this meeting and they tell us what they are willing, and then we will see.
I will be leaving tonight. You can tell the others. I will inform Mr. Greycastle and Mr. Montfort myself. Mr. Stormwind too, perhaps. I feel especially guilty for bringing him into this charade.
Indeed, and now you have no money to pay the poor man.
I am good for the money. My family can certainly cover the costs. It's just we need to get out of here, Carlos. We need to get to a town with people, with normal people. People who aren't a part of this giant charade. We're on the mainland now. We have an advantage that we can take.
Indeed, it will be easier to leave. There's no barrier of water to stop us. Like I said, I'll wait for Nephis to come back with her request for a meeting. Then from there, we will all see.
All right. I inform the people I mentioned that I will be leaving tonight.
Are you planning to go alone?
If that's what it takes, Mr. Greycastle. I will not forget the people who stay behind, though. I will come back and look for them if they decide to stay. But if we stay here, we stay subservient to these people watching over us. I'm afraid we're at their mercy if they decide to do anything with us. I don't know what it could possibly be. I shudder to think of all the possibilities. Oh, my mic is in the wrong place. I'm sorry.
Carlos would, after Vin was telling them that he planned to leave and stuff, Carlos would tell everyone else what he told Nephis and Vin about Cecilia and how Nephis is going to request a meeting with the higher-ups find out what's really going on. Just so that everyone's aware of.
Anton, hearing of this news, would be disappointed by both Vin. Vin planning this. It sounds risky enough.
You are free to come with me, Mr. Greycastle.
But I'm also disappointed to hear that Cecilia was also involved in this group without telling us. It would have been nice to know, but either way, it's still thankful that this group actually came to save them in the first place. He doesn't really know what to think and is saddened to see that she had passed.
Carlos.
Yes.
If she was a member of this monastery, wouldn't the people here, the people of cloth and whatnot, and all of her compatriots and whatnot, be mourning her loss and having funeral services.
I'm not familiar with their culture or how they would handle such a loss. Perhaps they don't view it as death. Perhaps they only view it as moving on to some other plane of existence. We don't know how they would mourn externally or internally. But I feel like we will get more information on that when Nephis returns.
Yes.
Hi.
So Khutula was informed on this as well? Or is she
Say
too
yes.
busy reading?
She's
As long as
she's
Cthulhu-
hiding in a library, so
You'll never find her.
Good luck.
If Khutula was to show up back in the infirmary before the meeting occurred, then Carlos would fill her in as well, but otherwise she wouldn't know because she's not there.
She has to eat sometime.
Eat the books.
She's all out of dried meat.
Nephis would go searching for Khutula before the meeting too. To tell her.
Yeah.
She must be the one that breaks the code.
Breaks the code.
I wonder where this book fort came from. I'm sorry.
I know not of books.
You see her leaving the Western Library, and I meant to ask something earlier, but people were doing their thing, and I didn't want to interrupt. Is it possible for me to ask one of the priests for like a spare blank journal? Would they supply me with such?
yes, it is possible, and yes, it would be given.
All right. What about a writing utensil?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got
Cool.
one.
So then I record, just like I wrote down the shit I learned, I record my notes in the journal so I can use that advantage check later if need be. Anyway, so you see her leaving the library with her journal, kind of looking it over.
Oh. Me?
Yeah, because you were looking for her.
Oh, okay. Little one,
Huh?
I need to speak with you.
Okay.
Why do you
I've
keep
requested
calling
a-
me that?
I'm not a child, but okay.
She remembers the
human.
last conversation that they had.
She's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, what's going on?
I requested a meeting with the higher ups, and I want you to appraise their magic.
Wait, what? What? You did what?
The people of this monastery. I requested a meeting so we can all meet this being, perhaps. Whatever it is.
Why? Like, should if it's like if it's a problem, shouldn't we try to learn more before we confront them?
I thought that's what you were doing.
I mean, it's only been
How
like a
long does it
few
take?
hours. Oh my god.
Only been a few hours.
Like,
These things,
okay,
they take time.
So what do you know? Like, you called them a being. I'm trying to figure out what to work with here, but I'm not really sure where to look.
Well, I had this weird feelings I don't know how to describe. And she touched me and gave me visions of the past. And there's a lot of light.
Yeah. She touched you.
Yeah. Where did she touch me? Like on my shoulder, right?
You are touched on your shoulder. It was a
I'll
he,
point to
not
my
a she.
shoulder.
If I'm nearby,
Oh,
I
is it-
storm up to Nephis and interrupt. Although I'm probably not. I'm still outside. Are they outside? They're not outside. Never
They're
mind.
probably-
I'm outside the library.
They're at
Like,
the
he caught
library.
me leaving the library.
Vin
It's
just
just
Technically
following just a bit-
outside, but it's technically inside too. It's one of those like covered cloister courtyards. So if you're outside
Mhm.
standing in the middle of the courtyard, you'd see them.
Vin sprints over there.
Would I overhear them?
Stop! Don't listen to him.
I would be in the courtyard. Yeah, I would just be
If
like
they're
hanging out.
if they're not making an effort to keep their voices low, then yeah, you
I'm
probably
not.
would.
I'd be talking at a like normal talking level.
Vin casts charm.
I grab Nephis by the shoulder and
oh.
mutter into
Oh no.
That's fucking magic! They're fucking messing with you! They got shit in your head, man! The moon landing was fake! It was a hoax!
mutter. Yeah. I reiterate my points earlier under bated breath and whispers.
Oh my god. Stop scaring Khutula.
I
You don't
storm
understand, man. They're putting chemicals in the water supply.
He just kind of like stares blankly for a
Wait.
moment. It's just like,
off. No, I don't storm off. I say, Miss Khutula, could you please inform Mr. Nephis how easy it is to warp the mind with magical trickery? And then I storm off.
she just blinks like a few times and just goes, I mean, it depends on what you study, and you know, she starts like going on a bit of a
Said it could've
mumbling
been a
tirade.
wizard.
Do you want to learn magic, Nephis? I can teach you.
I know not of books.
I mean, I guess I'm a slightly different case. Well, you see, well, never mind. I guess it could be, but I don't think that sounds familiar to anything I've heard of. I've seen charm spells done before, but nothing quite as intense as you're describing.
The thing is, when you left, when me and Vin were talking, he performed some magic, but as soon as the spell wore off, I felt it. I noticed what he did, but when the being touched me and did all that, I didn't have such a after effect. I don't believe, right?
No, you actually
real.
the experience of that vision actually made you pass out too. Like it was so intense that you felt the vision and you're like fucking done.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds much more powerful than things most magicians are capable of, I believe.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
I'm sure it's
Then
a
maybe.
form of magic, but
So
I
Vin's
think
been
it's-
lying to me. Great. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's a form of magic, but I don't think it's anything beings like us are capable of. I'd imagine if it is as powerful as you say it is possibly some form of demigod.
Oh,
That's just the thought off the top of my head. I'd have to look into it more, of course.
Hmm.
But if the meeting is going to be happening soon, I don't think I really have time for something like that. We have to. Oh boy.
I don't know.
Did you already request it?
Yeah, everyone's been working me up so much. Vin with his conspiracies and Carlos telling me, going back and forth. I see him walk around with Vin and then come back to me and then tell me all this stuff about Cecilia.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about Cecilia?
Her tome that was in the barracks.
She's fucking dead, Jim.
the totem in the barracks. I saw it. Or Carlos saw it. He told me about it. Help me. What does it mean?
Let me see the totem, and then I can maybe start looking into things from there. If I
He
have
said
a
it was
good.
in the barracks, and
You should know this all. You read books.
You've read a book before. You know everything.
He said it was in the the barracks and that her stuff was in a footlocker. It was like she was working for them. All these lies frustrate me.
Nephis smash.
She just kind of like nods and shifts her eyes away. Well, like you said, there's a meeting, right?
Yes.
Well, I guess I don't have
I'll need
much
you
time.
to keep your eyes out and be able to sort out whatever this could be. Because Vin's sure that these people are evil, but I don't know what to believe.
Right.
Yes.
Well, we should, I guess, focus on the meeting first and see what people have to say. And while we're at the barracks, or well, not the barracks, sorry, the infirmary, maybe we can. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. Let's just focus on the meeting for now.
Aye. Nephis would turn around and go to the infirmary.
Khutula would follow and kind of like glances around to see like how many people were around to hear the whole thing.
I would have.
Well, there's a few monks in the courtyard that are like doing various things, but they're all off in the corner, just not really like trying to eavesdrop.
Mhm.
That's
I would have said my
sinful
part
behavior.
and under my breath, quietly.
If they were entering the infirmary,
Aggressively,
Anton
quietly.
would just kind of look at them walking in and just kind of go back to playing with one of his bandages.
Well, the fact that the monks didn't react makes me more suspicious that they were in on it.
Oh no!
All right. Anyway, so
The bread's hurting all the.
Wake up.
Wake up.
okay. All right. Does anybody else have any amazing desires to do something, or any wonderful theories to get off their chest in front of the other people before this meeting is brought to
is anyone
good
else
order?
gonna freak me the fuck out?
Any more?
Anton is gonna leave you the fuck alone.
Oh, but
How
Anton's gonna
imminent
put
is
him.
this
He's
meeting?
gonna run up to Khutula and lower himself to one knee.
Wait, what's
Whoa,
going
grab
on?
her by the shoulders and just start shaking her violently, and her wound opens up.
My sword.
What about to propose to Khutula?
Oh
Yeah.
Oh.
no!
Life is short. We're all mortal. Please be mine.
I cast shocking grasp.
Shatter.
Oh my god!
Look, I
thank
found this
you.
wedding ring. Please, it's yours.
Thunderwave.
No, that's mine.
all right. So meeting
He's got
time.
fucking Vinshenzo's wedding ring. Okay.
Thank
yeah.
you for that. Oh
Sorry.
my god!
Isaac, there's nothing you want to do before this happens. You're happy to sit on your bed and witness the madness. He's gone. He's taking a nap. Kill.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to do?
Well, I asked, but I don't remember hearing. How imminent is the meeting? Like 5 minutes? An hour?
Wow, thank
If
you
there's
so much.
anything you wish to do, please let me know. If not, then the meeting will take place exactly after you've finished doing something or not doing it.
Well, I would have taken a walk, but that depends on how imminent the meeting is.
The meeting would.
What do you want to
start
do?
after
Just
you're
tell me
done
what you
with
want to
the
do.
walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Would
waiting
you have
on you
taken-
to start the meeting.
Would you have taken the
Sorry.
walk?
No, no,
while
no.
everyone was
That's
doing
not the
other
right way to
shit?
say it. Yeah.
Or
Now's
we would
your
wait
opportunity
for
to do something.
everyone.
There is no rush.
Yeah.
Stop it.
What is going on?
Devon's bullying me.
Why? What happened? Why are your shit dice here?
He's bullying me.
Pick up your shit dice.
I think nothing's going on then.
Rub
So,
him all
Chill,
over
you want to
your
take a walk or no?
No.
Okay. So, in short order, at the request of Nephis, 3 individuals enter the infirmary to meet with you. First one is a man by the name of Father Ehrenfried. He's the abbot. And then there is Sister Rainwolf, and she is the abbess. And then a dwarf who comes in wearing the essentially the tunic and suspenders of one of the warriors, who introduces himself as Doracol Strongheart. The 3 of them enter and await for you to begin the meeting that you requested.
His name is Dorcole?
Doracol. Oh my god.
Okay.
Fuck. Doracol.
And who is he?
First one is right. He's a dwarf warrior who represents the martial wing of this monastery, the warriors who are staying there.
Oh, what a queer character. I remarked
He's
to
quite large
myself.
for a dwarf, but he is still just a dwarf.
You can decide if you heard that.
So what do they say when they come in?
Well, they introduce themselves, and Nephis was the one who called the fucking meeting, so they're just like, hey, here's who we are. I'm the abbot, Father Ehrenwild, or whatever the fuck his name was. I already forgot.
We're not even keeping track.
Well, yeah, but we were also told that we're like the chosen people.
them.
So we're like,
Yeah, I would walk up to them and
No.
Where's the person we met? The 3 of us, and I'd point to Vin.
Cecilia. Where is she?
The abbot. Oh, get out! Fuck off, cat. Okay. Sorry. The abbot informs you that the creature that you had been introduced to was an angel. It says you were introduced to an angel who served the god, the great god Tyr, who's the maimed god of justice. And it has departed to continue on its mission here in the mortal realm.
Oh.
ah. How interesting. Vin feigns interest, enthusiasm, and trust for the meeting.
I would tell the 3 of those higher ups, because I was Nephis was so frustrated not seeing the being there, he kind of forgot their names. You 3, explain to my group what our purpose is here. What do you want of us? Why have you been watching over us?
Nephis, please be polite to these gentlemen. They've rescued us after all.
He'd snap his head over to Vin and fucking look at him with a fucking squint.
I would give
Anton.
Nephis a look of like, just go along with it. Retard, you don't want to alert them.
Anton's not saying anything at the moment. However, I think he might realize the tension.
I believe what Nephis is trying to ask is why why did you send Cecilia to spy on us? And what are your intentions for us? Or to be used as a tool to defeat the vampires, or what? Are we going to be set up for our futures? Do you care whether we live or die, or are we just pawns?
The dwarf steps forward and takes over before the abbot can speak, and he says, "Ah, lad, I believe you've got the priorities mixed up a bit. It wasn't you we were watching, it was Cecilia. She's the one who called for help. She's the one who happened to find you."
Is he done?
For now, yeah. Yeah, he's done.
What a queer person.
Fuck you.
So are you saying that she took interest in us because our goals aligned and just tagged along because that's what she was meant to do anyway? Or did you guys send her on this quest, or was she already intent on doing it and you just noticed?
Our order knew that there were vampires on the island. We sent Cecilia there to see how dangerous it really was. When she found out that you were also going, she tagged along. From what we could tell, she only gave us 2 reports the whole time she was out there. The first time saying that she found you, and the second time saying that she had trusted you enough that she was going to bring you into the fold. Unfortunately, you got captured first. Sorry, I'm losing my accent. I can't drink enough beer to maintain it. After you'd found that vampire headquarters, she told us that it was much more serious than we had thought.
Anton isn't particularly crazy about this news, but he's going to continue to listen.
I suppose that would make sense, but now what do you want of us? Obviously you want our help, otherwise we wouldn't be here, but like I said, do you care what happens to us after your goals are complete?
We work for the Heavenly Triad. We work for the great god Ilmater, the god Tyr, and Torm the True. That triad is there, and the order of the knights that serve them are not here for anything more than making sure justice is done for the wicked and the damned. We would never press you into service unless you wanted to come. However, we rescued you from that arena at the behest of Cecilia when she had sent us a signal for extraction. She knew that it was dangerous, and she did not want your lives to go to waste. It is your choice whether you continue down the path to fight these vampires, or you can choose to live.
Anton struggles with that particular question, just kind of sitting in silence with that one.
Vin just starts chuckling to himself.
Carlos would be satisfied for now as he considered he would be thinking over what they said and allow someone else to speak in the interim.
Vin continues laughing.
Does anybody say anything to the triad or the group? Sorry.
The triad.
The group of 3 that are here, they're ones talking to us. Like, does anybody say anything else?
The 3 of them aren't the triad. The gods they serve are the triad.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. My
This
bad.
ain't Japan.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that. No, fuck you! It's not Japan.
It is now.
It's a legitimate thing. I'm reading it off the fucking Forgotten Realms wiki to make sure I had it all right.
Okay.
Shit's been fucking.
I trust
This is
you,
an
Chris.
actual thing.
I trust you. I never doubted you.
Mr. Cairona, is there something humorous that you'd like to enlighten us with?
No. This is all just I don't even know. Just I continue laughing.
Anton just looks at Vin a little concerned. We're a little concerned about Vin.
Let's assume that we agree to help your triad with what they want here, which appears to be the defeat of the vampire cults, which we all individually have beef with now. What do you offer in return for us to do this for you?
Well, you're looking a little short of coin, so probably help you get all your belongings back and a little reward on the side. I've heard a few things about you, and I know you're motivated by treasure. Can probably find something suitable as a reward. For those of you of a nobler cause, of course, there is fame, fortune, and the simple reward of doing a good deed. We will not ask you to go right back into the heart of the beast's lair. We have a different plan in mind, one that is a little bit less dangerous.
Back to Nicia, Vin asks.
Well, yes, that's where they are. That's where we have to be.
So
We've already been made. They know us.
The vampires might know you, but we are counting on the fact that there's loyal Tarvian soldiers and loyal Tarvian magisters still in Nicia. You go and convince them that there's a threat. They'll raise their armies, they'll send their legions, and they'll crush the enemy. That's what they're there for. But you're all witnesses firsthand. You can bring an account to their politicians and leaders. You can tell them what the danger is. There's nothing clandestine or nothing sneaky about it.
Sure, but this clan of vampires goes back centuries, and they have their hands in most of the local government. How can we even know that any of this will work?
Their corruption spreads
well.
all the way through Confluentia, all the way to the top. The captain of the guard, the magisters number 2, all of them.
I believe what my compatriots are trying to say is that clearly none of you realized how deep the corruption ran. So how can we be sure there's even one magister in Nicia that has not yet been corrupted? We could be walking into another trap.
Well, yes, that is a risk. And that is why we're not asking you to go. We're not forcing you to go. We're just asking. As you yourself said, you have beef with these vampires. You have beef with them, and if you want your revenge, I'll give you this option. But I'm not just going to let you walk in empty-handed like a fish on a hook. We'll bring you supplies. We'll make sure you're armed and better prepared. That way, if they do spring a trap, you'll be able to either fight your way out, or we'll bring you back by birds or by boat, just like last time. Although this time, hopefully, without a gladiators arena involved, eh?
Sure, that was quite the spectacle from the air.
I've got to admit, I've had worse scraps in my time, but you did give a good account of yourselves.
More scrapes.
You implied that...
You're just a wee bairn.
What?
I think he just called
I
you
said you're just a wee bairn.
I think he called you a bitch.
I don't know what that means.
Bairn.
A bairn?
Bairn.
What is a bairn?
You've been suckling off your mother's tit for too long, lad. Grow some chest hair, get out in the world. You're just a bairn.
Vin would grow furious. Listen to me, tiny man.
Anton jumps out of bed.
To my colleagues, Mr. Greycastle, Mr. Montfort, Mr.
Anton-
Nephis, all of whom were brought to death's door, and if it were not for my magic, they would have perished in that arena for spectacle.
Anton quickly jumps out of bed, gets in front of
dare you
Vin. Calm,
disrespect their lives?
Vin, calm down. Calm down. Vin. Just calm down, please. No.
I like how Vin tried to like come in like all cool, like, hey, I believe everything. Just immediately loses his temper.
Anton is
Fuck you!
Anton's definitely concerned about Vin. He's very concerned about Vin now. This is kind of unlike him.
Does the dwarf respond?
Your petty trinkets mean nothing to me. My family heirloom instruments are irreplaceable artifacts, dating back centuries, perhaps.
And where would they be, perhaps? In the dining room of a vampire's cave?
This is getting us nowhere.
They could be literally anywhere, tiny man.
Well,
Vin,
I'm sorry for our bard friend, but it seems he hasn't put on a show in quite a while and is eager to put on a display at this moment. Do you have any more of a plan other than just trying to recruit the Magisters? Is there any additional support you can give us, or is it just supplies and well wishes?
Yes, it is a great plan, one that I tried upon returning to Confluentia. The entire city watch was sent upon us. You have no inkling of what is going on in Nicia.
Khutula kind of interrupts Vin with a loud throat clearing. Do you have anything you can give to us other than supplies, assistance? Is there anyone who can, I don't know, do anything for us other than just transportation?
The abbot shuffles a little bit, sort of shuffles his dwarf compatriot aside and says, Confluentia is just a city, man. It's not the only place on Nicaea. We got a lot of other cities that we can go to. You can go and find somewhere else. We need to see how big the problem is. We want to take you somewhere else. We want to put you on the west side of the island, probably Lutokona. We don't have any contacts there, but you seem pretty smart.
oh my god.
I guess I kind of am.
Unbelievable, says Vin.
We're gonna give you enough money to make sure that you can pay for supplies in Nicaea itself. We'll try and find a way to manufacture a new identity for you too, to help out a little bit as well. We'll make sure you get across on the ferry, and we also got some good stuff out back with some swords and shields and stuff like that. Make sure you go into a fight better prepared. We know that there's a fake sanctuary of souls in Gontium that's gonna be taken care of later. Don't worry about that. But we gotta make sure we see how bad the vampire threat is. If there's nobody at Nicaea that's loyal to the throne anymore, we're gonna go off Nicaea, okay? We're just gonna go somewhere else. We're gonna talk to the Tarvian Emperor after that, or talk to somebody, but we don't have the power or strength to take on the vampires by ourselves. We need local help. We need somebody's army. We need somebody's fighting force.
You have a messenger?
Well, we hope that you would be the messenger. Like my friend said, you guys saw the whole thing yourselves. You know what it is. You've seen it all. You know exactly who's corrupt. You know exactly where the vampires are. We don't know that. We're just gonna show up and say, hey, my buddy ST, he saw what's going on. He tells you it's true. No, you go there yourself. You present a story.
Anton.
Yeah, he's French.
Anton turns around thinking that Ven is probably gonna calm down for just a minute. He's not trying to like block him from like trying to go at the dwarf now.
It is truly sad to see men of the
turns-
cloth corrupting others with money and petty objects.
He
Finn sits
turns
down.
around to the abbot and I mean, sure that's the case, but I don't think that idea is going to work. What I'm trying to say is, do you guys have a messenger? Like, I could send a message to the Tarvian military and try to explain this. We could try and get their assistance here. I don't think us going to Nisia right now is going to do anything any good.
But where do you want to go instead then? I don't know. You just send a letter, it doesn't mean nothing. What if it gets lost in the mail? What if they just look at it and think it's a joke? What do you think when you see a letter in the mail and it says, "Hey, Appan Island, these fucking vampires"? What do you think they're gonna do? They're just gonna take it and put it in the fire.
I'm former Tarvian military.
You look like a tramp to me, man. You lost all your stuff. You need to go in person. You need to go and tell somebody. It's just a letter. Anybody can write a letter.
Then may I suggest two different options? Because again, us in our current state, we're not ready to go back to Nisia. I don't think any of us are.
No, but you don't have to go tomorrow, eh?
I think if anything, we need to probably do something else for a little bit until we're ready to confront this, because I don't think any of us are ready.
Or certainly
Man,
not.
what do you
prepared
wanna
to
do
fight
then?
Vampires again.
Well, I mean, the best I can think of is maybe we could try and see if we can help with things around here for a little while until we're more prepared. Certainly more equipped. I mean, the best I can really do is just try and talk to the Tarvian military to explain the situation. But I don't think sending us there is going to work. Plus, they already know who we are, and they'll focus on us. They'll kill all of us.
Well, if you want to talk to the Tarvian military but not go into the island, you can always travel to the west. There's a few outposts where they recently conquered some land in the Dordian Khaganate. There's an outpost there. They might believe you. They might be able to do something about that.
That kind of sprung a hit into Anton's mind. It's like, I used to be on that front. I might know some people there. I think I can probably talk to them.
Well, if anybody's gonna be loyal to the throne, it's gonna be the guys fighting the war in its name.
Well, I used to be one of those people.
And there you go. They know your face.
Dordy
Nobody else is gonna know a
flashbacks.
letter.
So that means we gotta make our way to this outpost then. Would you happen to know the town or particular area and where this outpost is? I'd imagine it's a bit of a travel.
He's talking about like the part of Dordian territory that was successfully conquered by the Empire.
Yeah, but
There's like
he's asking roughly where that would be, because I mean it's been a while since he's been.
Just stalling for time. Just give me a second here.
Anton doesn't know where every outpost is.
You just had to say that. It's fine. I'm patient. I'm patient.
Oh.
I'm polite. Remember.
Oh.
Oh.
Remember, I'm not the one trying to like swing at him like Vin.
Finn would not lay a hand on any man.
He's actively trying to get into a fight with a fucking dwarf.
Yeah, please, God, no. We get our asses handed to us right now.
Finn would not lay a hand on any man.
Man, you can go to
The stuff I painted
Shit.
blue
oh fuck.
is like the area that was conquered, according to the map I found
Right.
in maps.
So the big gigantic map that you can see, the big world map, which I have to get a new one. Okay, so if you look at the Dordian Kaganate, in the bottom right, there's a little blue chunk there, and that is Tarvian-held territory. And in that, there is a port city called Andolia, and that is one of the larger Tarvian military facilities, because that is where they receive all of their supplies for the legions to keep the border secure. They're not technically at war right now, but there are still frequent border skirmishes. It is not what you would call a peaceful area, in the sense that like there's raiding parties and stuff, and they're doing all they can to keep their border secure from the Dordians, who are not actively at war, but still tribes will go and plunder and pilfer border towns.
Anton turns to the rest of the group and, what do you guys think of this idea?
It's definitely probably safer than heading back into Nissia, not knowing if there's a single friend to be found. Wouldn't be opposed, but I think Mr. Strongheart, was it? He implied that he'd be able to recover our lost goods. Is that the case, or did he merely mean replace?
I'm not talking about replacing them. I'm saying that if you went to the island, you'd be able to get your shit back.
Oh, Mr. Cairona, would recovering your family heirlooms be enough to convince you to return?
I have already accepted the loss of such items. They are not worth your lives or mine. I would not ask any of you to help me recover them with such great risk.
Does anybody else have anything to comment about the idea?
Mr. Greycastle, you propose an interesting plan. I do not quite care for going to a contested territory of war, but it may be a place where we can find solace and comrades that we can trust.
Ooh.
Vin glares at the dwarf.
I feel like we at least
The
owe
dwarf
them...
smiles really broadly as soon as you glare at him.
I love this guy.
I feel like we at least owe them something in exchange for saving our lives. I think the least we can do is see if the Tarvian military will take up arms against these vampires, and if they do, then perhaps that will allow us an opportunity to recover our lost objects relatively safely.
I don't think it would be just a service to these guys, but the Tarvian Tarvian Empire as well. I mean, Nissia is kind of to the back. Actually, I probably would have to roll a history on that one night. How much of strategic importance?
To the back.
How strategically important is Nissia? Like, to the Dordian front? But I need to roll a history.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you to roll a history check for that.
Because I'd imagine that would be a hell of an important objective here. Oh, that's 17.
Ooh. Yeah. Nissia, due to its proximity to the mainland of the continent, that's where most of the supplies come out of. But all those supplies that come out of the main port city of Ludicona, where troops and supplies are sent. There are other places that supply the occupied territories, but Nicaea is just the easiest and closest to be sending things like food and cattle and other such things. that.
So this could be something of great importance to the Tarvians as well as this particular group. Like they both could benefit from working in each other with each other in this objective.
Mr. Greycastle,
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't mean
There
any
you go.
offense to you or the Tarvian Empire, but I am not a Tarvian citizen. I am not of Tarvia. I do not care about Tarvia. I care about us so far as anything, and I care about being paid so that I can replace my lost belongings, which have been stolen from us.
Yes, and Mr. Santiago paying off this debt to these strangers that you keep talking about. Tell me, how much debt do you owe me if you owe these people so much?
I don't know. Should we start counting debt between ourselves now?
I'm just saying, Mr. Santiago.
Mr. Greycastle.
They are but strangers.
All I'm saying is that if we start figuring out who owes what within our group, I mean, how much do I owe Anton, or how much does Anton owe me for helping him fight in the Coliseum?
Any man.
All I'm saying is that they saved us. They did not need to put their lives at risk to do so. They were not obligated to do so. Or at least us within our own party, we have some obligation to each other.
He's right, you know this, Vin.
I disagree. Vin folds his arms and leans back in his chair.
Let's get down to the basics of this. What are you offering us to help you?
Yes.
So the abbot says, he looks at his colleagues and he tells, "We're gonna give you weapons. We're gonna give you supplies, and we're also gonna give you enough money to make sure that you can go out and get this job done. So we're basically gonna finance your expedition. We're going to equip you and finance you, and hopefully, if you begin to trust us, or at least most of you, and you can get your friend there to cooperate long enough, we'll also try and give a hand if this whole plan works out. We can actually get rid of this vampire threat, and you help us out a little bit more. We will go in and we will try and help find all of your belongings and all of your worldly possessions that were lost. And then after that, there's no other expectation. We will help finance your expedition. We help you find your lost belongings, and then after that, you can do as you please."
The thing I'm worried about the most is running into vampires again and being unprepared. Our weapons, steel and iron, has very little effect on them. We have to rely on magics or holy water in order to do anything lasting. Do you have any weapons that me or Nephis or Isaac could use to pose a threat to vampires if they come upon us again?
We don't have anything at this monastery. However, that does not mean that we do not have access to nothing. I can bring you a letter with a stamped seal and all that stuff, and you can take it to another place. And this is a place that will give you the equipment that you need: specialized weapons, silvered steel, holy artifacts that they will do incredible damage to these vampires. They are damned creatures, and something that has holy, radiant power. It will be very useful for you. But as I said, this monastery, we do not have these things. Yes, we do have some warriors, but we are not a martial place. This is not a place of making war. This is a place of healing. This is a sanctuary for the sick and a place for travelers to rest their weary heads. So, I can point you in the direction, and you can go to another sanctuary, and they will make sure that you have everything you need to fight these vampires.
One concern I do have, if we do travel, some of us at least do travel west to try and contact the Tarvians, the vampires made it sound like that they had agents elsewhere and would be keeping an eye on us. So it's very possible they could easily find us as well if we're just traveling about.
Sorry, are you? Do you mean like? Yeah. What are you gonna ask, Nephis?
Did Anton relay to everyone else that the Tarvian knight that was with the fucking Hans Ferdinand?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Driver.
No, it
He
wasn't.
relayed that he saw the.
It was a Tarvian
Yeah.
Tarvian Hevel cavalry with a two-hander that was part of the 7th Legion.
Yes.
I didn't know the guy's name, but
Did Knight? Don't remember if Nick recognized the state of that man's existence.
Oh,
Hint.
no.
I don't think I was actually able to tell, but he seemed like he was pretty much happy with working with these vampires, so...
Okay, so Anton is aware that there was a being wearing the uniform and armament of a 7th Legion cavalryman that was with the vampires. So you would have known basically that.
Well, if the Republic somehow knew that there is corruption within their own higher ranks within, well, actually, I don't know. I feel like that would be pretty widespread to a point. Khutula kind of like mutters to herself and like starts getting lost in thought.
Anton did have a little bit of concern about what Khutula was getting at, though. I mean, if the vampires are watching us and they could just, get us while we're traveling, like they could leave Nisia and just get us on the way. That certainly is a reasonable concern.
Can you remind me when that information was brought up, or how that information was described to you?
I just inferred it in the sense of the way they were kind of sort of vaguely threatening us when they made the deal with us. So like my interpretation of it was that they had agents elsewhere to like keep an eye on us if we decided to leave, so they could keep us silent, and if we spoke up they would take care of us, sort of thing.
It did imply that.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the way that Hans Stryber was acting was like, oh yeah, here's your options, and you have to stay silent, and if you speak up, we'll know about it, kind of deal.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
But it could have been a bluff, who knows?
I mean, it could have been a bluff, but in this case, like, it's something that would have worked.
If that is the case, though, I mean, we left and they didn't want us to. We never took their deal. If they do have agents about, then none of us will be safe ever, and we'll need to fight back and defeat them, or we'll be looking over our shoulders for the rest of our lives. If this Hans Stryber is as powerful as he implied, as soon as we leave here, we could be in danger.
Read.
And I'm assuming that our good friends here, they would provide transportation for us to get to this other sanctuary to ensure that we are prepared if we so chose to continue on this quest. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yeah, they will. They'll help you out. They're gonna supply you.
That's a different answer to a question that was asked. Carlos is asking for like a horse or a buggy.
A boogie.
Or a boat.
Or a
Eagle
boat.
nuts for everybody.
With cannons.
With cannons.
And fishing nets.
Yeah.
And a poop deck. Or sorry,
Fire us out of a cannon into the next sanctuary.
the plank.
Are we walking to this other sanctuary?
The monastery will provide you with resources they can to help you on your expedition to get you to where you go.
Who says
They're
that?
going to give you money, they're going to give you stuff, whatever they have. The abbot already said that.
Yeah, he did.
But not transport.
He didn't specify the means of transportation, but he did say
Yeah.
he would help us get there. And
They
that could be
didn't say,
anything from
like, hey, we're
horse
going to fly you out on an eagle.
Yeah, well,
fly with you.
helping us get there could be spanking us on our asses to fucking get us walking.
He's also already stated that this monastery you're in has its limitations in resources.
Yes, but they're willing to send several men to their deaths. How ironic. They can't even equip us.
I don't know. I feel like what Khutula and Anton brought up about them having eyes, it's something I hadn't considered before. We may be fine for days or months or even years, but if they continue to spread as they do, then eventually, surely they will not forgive us for what we did, and agents will eventually track us down if they aren't stopped. It's not something that I look forward to.
Me either.
Vin might be safe far away in his homeland with his general of a wife, with his army, but who else among us can claim as much?
I grow quite tired of these remarks about my family.
All I am saying is that you are privileged in ways that we are not.
Yes, several times, Mr. Santiago, you've made your point. Vin privilege.
Does anyone else have any questions, or perhaps it is time we put this to a vote?
Oh, fuck.
I'm unsure if we really have that much of a choice,
Me either.
but personally, I would like some more. I mean, we'll need some time to heal up, of course, but I would like to try and understand more of the region and what might be going on, and perhaps some studies might help me shed some light on who we might be able to influence and convert to our cause against the threat. Or something like that.
Either way, it's a good idea.
Hello, Sprocket the Fox.
Certainly sounds reasonable. We don't want to go in blind again.
Ugh.
Oops.
Mr. Stormwind, you've been rather quiet. How do you feel about these developments?
Well, I'm not keen to go to my death, but if there's a chance to kick that vampire cunt in the teeth, I'm gonna take it.
Oh my god.
It just like Vin, just like the language on this man.
Such
Vin would've
language in front of the abbot.
If Vin had a monocle, would have popped.
You're about as
Yeah,
bad as
that's-
Ludwig.
Mother, whatever her name is, has just been standing there listening to all this cussing, going, oh,
Oh
doesn't
my.
have enough hands to put over her mouth.
Yeah, Carlos would kind of clear his throat and be like, yeah, so as he says, what about you, Mr. Nephis? You haven't said much since this began. What's your thoughts on this?
I need to be right back. I need to close my fucking window.
Oh.
Close this man's window.
Close this man's window. Oh god.
Oh my fucking
About to close
god,
this
it is
bitch's window for good.
closed. It is closed and it's that loud. Okay. Fuck.
Do you want me to restate?
No, I remember. As long as we're
Somebody like
those weapons and the knowledge is what we need. Give the little one her books and give us better weaponry and we'll be good.
Little.
Stop calling me that.
Is that something that Khutula kind of mumbled under her breath? And
Yep.
It wouldn't actually.
Kind of like
is
getting a little
Khutula
annoyed.
taller than Ludwig?
Cthulhu is taller, yeah.
Yeah, we declared that she was just like a few inches taller.
So
pretty much.
Ludwig is standing in the room, and Cthulhu's the one that's getting called little one. I appreciate
Yes.
that because he is
Yes.
standing right fucking there too.
She is like pretty young for a Dragonborn, but still just like I'm an adult.
Thought you were about to say she's much prettier than he is.
I mean, probably, yeah.
He has an eye patch. But Nephis ignores your request.
Seems that
Uh,
most are more inclined to help than not, and I'm sure we can all agree that Peter would be the first one to agree to such a quest, even though he's not here. I'd safely assume.
Of course.
So I think the only one that is on the not on the fence, but on the other side of the fence is Mr. Cairona. Do you still insist on a quick departure?
How long must we stay here, Mr. Santiago?
Or at least until we are better. There's still those of us that are recovering from wounds. We still need some kind of gear to survive. Then we head to this sanctuary, we get what they have, we head to the front, we see if we can convince the Tarvian military, and we'll go from there. If things look bleak, then I'm not sure what else we can be expected to do.
Very well. I suppose I will acquiesce and wait around and accept these handouts. I suppose my privileged background or my privileged history demands it. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Santiago?
Indeed.
It was your idea.
So, I'm so glad that you have seen reason. So yeah, the fucking three dudes there would probably see that the group was mostly leaning towards helping them now, and their inner discussion would be done for the moment. So how would they respond to that?
The dwarf is quite content. He's just kind of observing the internal. They're basically just sort of observing the internal politic of this party. Like, very obvious who the major players are and who's got the sway on decisions and stuff, and just sort of getting the measure of the party still, waiting for a decision to be made, which it seems like it has. Yeah. They're oh, excuse me. The abbot and abbess pledged their like, this is their monastery. They pledged their support already, and they reaffirm that they're going to help make sure that there's enough supplies and maps and other things that they're capable of providing to get you on your way. Anything they actually have access to. The dwarf who speaks for the warriors who are staying here at the monastery they have equipment available, and they also know some blacksmiths in the village below the monastery. There's a dwarf and then his warriors. There are 3 dwarves total, 2 elves, and then the rest of them are human.
And you said there was a.
They're not all standing
under the
in
monastery?
the room. Not under them, like below in the valley. If you remember, the monastery is basically on top of a hill, so they know the blacksmith who services their equipment, and they're willing to, like, if you have anything and you're willing to wait, they can help you fund that. But you'd have to wait for finished.
Oh, like to have
basically
a custom weapon made or something that they don't have.
Yeah.
I simply
I feel like it might not be the greatest of quality because this is like a local blacksmith, but there you go.
I simply want to get moving.
I believe most of us could probably do with what you have available until we reach our first destination. So we should probably assume that once everyone is well enough to move, that is when we will depart.
Mr. Anton was hurt the most. Once he's healed up, we can move out.
It should be fine. It hurts a little bit, but I think I've recovered pretty well.
Mr. Greycastle, just so that we're clear, we don't need you well enough to move. We need you well enough to be able to fight in case something happens.
He didn't really want to accept that answer, but he was right. It just... Fair enough.
Very well, then you'll let us know when you feel like you can fight again, and then that is when we will gather what provisions that the monastery has. Perhaps they can gather some additional supplies in the interim, and then we'll be on our way.
Anton nods in approval.
Yes, there will be no end to the violence.
That is the way of the world, Vin, I'm afraid to say.
It is not my way.
Well, Anton's probably going to need time to recover anyway, so that gives Khutula plenty of time to look at books.
Hell
All of the books.
How long are we?
Well, the library. I was gonna.
Sorry.
Oh.
How long does fucking Anton need to recover?
How many days do you want to say he probably needs left for the?
Well,
We can roll a
not
d4.
long.
3 or 4 times. God damn it.
We can roll a d4.
Vin would not
Okay,
wait more
you
than
roll
like
me a
2 or 3
D4.
days.
I'll roll you a d4. Hang on.
He has his own.
Actually,
D4.
no. Roll me a d6 minus your Constitution modifier.
He rolls his own.
So just a d6. All right.
Minus your Constitution. Wait, what? You don't have any Constitution?
No, I have a
fucking
plus
3.
He was
so
ready
take-
2 days ago.
Wow.
He was ready to
Well, I rolled a 1 anyway, so I guess I only need tomorrow.
There you go.
So I guess
No,
he
you were
can,
ready
like,
2 days
it's
ago.
not.
He'll be ready in the
It's
morning.
not
I
the
guess.
physical trauma that he's got to heal. It's the
the
emotional
mental.
trauma.
He's prepared to die for his friends.
So does
Yes.
Anton affirm that he'll be ready come tomorrow?
I should be good by tomorrow.
It's a bit less
Just
time
needs
than
a
I
good night's
expected, but
sleep.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, perhaps
To
Monastery
address
be willing to
the issue
Big
of a
tribute.
big library for Khutula, I need to interrupt to get this information through to make sure your plans are accurate. This monastery, as you've already seen, has like very specific historical records and then religious and historical texts, but it's all, like I said, like it's volumes of like botany information and like, you know, poems and poetry and all that kind of stuff. It's not exactly like a big archive of meant for research. So if
Mhm.
you're looking for an actual good big place of knowledge to get some better information, there are better places to go, and the monastery does know of good places where you could learn of more valuable intelligent histories and such like that to give you an edge. Their monastery just simply doesn't have that knowledge. Like they have some good stuff if you want to like read
More
about
mundane-
the
mundane in
travels
nature.
of, well, yeah, and it's like you're gonna look at all of the excerpts from the great philosopher Adalbert, who, you know, was reminiscing in the year 256
have the
about,
Dewey
you know,
Decimal
his treatise on
System.
the local king of. Yeah, it's not very useful knowledge for.
The duty.
Oh my god, someone's
was-
got some good
Jesus
Skittles.
Christ.
How long are
Uh,
we staying?
I was-
But there is, yeah. So that's what you got. If you want some good books, they can find it. They can tell you of a place where there's some good books if you're willing to sort of take the detour.
Understood. I
Well-
still had some things I wanted to check out, but we can get to that.
How long do
Well-
you need?
I mean, I can just like do a brief run through, and then like the morning should be ready.
all those peanut M&Ms. Well, Anton is. He affirms that he'll be ready in the morning. So, as long as the monastery can provide supplies by the morning, then that is when we will leave. In.
I can accept this. Collect your trinkets. I'll be ready to leave.
Perhaps Vin's mood would be a little. Perhaps his spirits would be swayed to be a little higher if you guys could provide instrument for him. He lost all of his, you see, and like Anton said before, it's been a while since he's been able to play.
And
The abbess states, this is the first time she speaks, and she states to Vinshenzo that they do have an organ in the chapel. He
Oh,
needs to
my.
relieve himself musically.
Vin's just gonna fucking lug around the organ.
No, you can't fucking move it around, but it is there to play.
No.
I'm just picturing him with the fucking thing on his back, pipe just sticking up like 10 feet.
Yeah.
he's like one of those one-man bands walking
Is it-
around.
I would look like a fucking Warhammer figurine.
Hell yeah, dude. But they don't have any like
Is it
smaller instruments for him to take with him.
specifically?
Get the fuck
Hang
off
on,
me.
this is it's me. I'm doing that. Fuck you.
I'm getting it for you. There.
Hey, thank you.
There it is.
Here you go.
Aw,
That's so you better fucking roll for it.
pipe organ is very strong. Is it a
Yeah.
pipe organ?
Yeah.
What is the quality of the organ?
You'd have to go and take a look, but she told you there's a pipe organ in the chapel.
Please direct me to the organ.
We have to take the path of the organ trail, if you will.
We're all going to die.
The organ. Stop!
What
Oh
is
my
going
god,
on?
there's so many of them.
That's
Somebody's
probably
spilling their fucking
fucking up
spaghetti.
Chris.
I know.
It really is.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you though?
No.
Okay.
He must
that's what I thought.
play
I just
it.
wanted to
Ooh.
make sure.
I must
Yeah.
play it. Please direct me to the organ.
Okay, the abbess happily shows you to the organ.
It has been weeks since I've seen.
Xane, move your hand.
Who is Xane?
Sorry, I was tapped out.
I believe it's Chill that has his hand in the
Tula,
way.
move your hand.
Well, I'm over
Oh, is
here.
it chill? I don't know.
Yeah,
Purple.
Chill is purple.
Purple hand. Oh, I thought.
Green.
Oh, you're green.
Fucking
Press
Sorry.
alt on it, god damn it!
Yeah, just press alt, like the rest of us.
Oh,
like a
wow!
human would.
I didn't know that was a
Yeah,
thing. Fuck you! I didn't know that was real.
Anyway, fucking Carlos would follow Vin because
6 months ago.
even though Vin is hard to work with sometimes, you can't deny that he is skilled with instruments.
And very handsome.
We don't talk about that.
Vin, I want to see the organ with you.
It's a quality 8 out of 10.
Oh my.
Oh, shit.
I must play this. It is beautiful.
Khutula actually has an interest in music and follows as well.
Same, yeah.
Same. I honestly miss some of his music.
I do not resist the urge to play. I roll performance. Which is...
No.
That's okay. 4 plus 6. So... 10, 15?
Oh.
Vin is so good.
Alright,
that even
play
when
us a
he's doing
tune.
Bad, it's so good.
Oh,
Not for a moment. We were gonna hear scratching in the back of our heads. Oh
I
god.
was not prepared. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, let me put on the crazy
No.
bus theme.
No! I got it.
No.
Does
Gotta be
Khutula play
pipe
any instruments?
Organ music. Anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. I on it.
Shit.
The Calibre.
I got it. Alright, chill.
Does Khutula, does Khutula still have her kalimba?
No.
Or is it
No.
stolen?
No, they took it.
I only have the
Okay.
amulet, but that's the most important one.
Oh. Do I have... do I have
As
my weird
as
egg still?
Vincenzo is playing your weird egg.
Two
Yeah, I remember the
absent
couple-
friends.
He hid it in his
No,
pocket
you
prison-
don't have
prison
shit.
pocket.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah, did you put it in your prison wallet?
Maybe.
Yeah. but
Then
you would.
if you did, then you're gonna have it. Like they're not gonna do a fucking rectal cavity search. But I don't know if the quality of your weird egg would hold up, you know, due to the fact that you went through such a harrowing experience with a fucking egg up your ass.
That'd be weird.
So I will say this: as Vincenzo is performing on his pipe organ, one of the nuns comes out of a corner of a chapel near
For
near the
Cecilia.
altar, and she deposits a lyre beside the pipe organ next to Vincenzo
Oh my.
for him to take.
I
Sorry, I'm an
continue
honest
playing.
person.
Yes.
I do not acknowledge the nun or whatever. I just play.
Yeah, I know you're too busy playing the pipe organ. Yeah, I'm just pointing out that you do now have. You get an instrument. You get
I
a
also
lyre.
get +1 on my next roll.
Yes.
Fucking.
I'll do it.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh fuck!
Where did my character sheet go? What happened?
I didn't do shit. You did it.
Okay. Oh, it's RuneScape. Oh fuck! I forgot to keep
Of course
mining.
it's
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, I
This is
love
like
organ
one of
music
the
either
best
way.
Tracks in the game, whatever, dude.
Is there anything anybody would like to look into, do, ask, plan, prepare, whatever? We got 13 minutes left in the session.
I don't know. Should we go over like what kind of stuff they have to give us now for in the morning?
We do that.
Yeah. We spend like 30
want-
minutes going back and forth saying, oh, we don't know if we're supplied. Oh, we'll provide supplies. And nobody ever said what actually they are.
Yeah, because nobody said, hey, we require these very specific items. So they're just like, yeah, we'll give you, we'll help you out. And then nobody ever said, yeah, cool, great, here's our shopping list. Can you provide? They're like,
Shopping
so,
list?
you know,
Others
Oh.
you.
know what they have instead of asking if they have it.
So are you saying that somebody would like to go to the armory and check?
Sure.
Hee-hoo. I'm not gonna roleplay this out. We got 13 minutes left. The answer is
Oh.
yes. So there are 2 long swords. There are a selection of different looking spears. There are axes, the battle axes, and there is a maul.
That
that it?
stinks.
For armor, there are 3 sets of chainmail.
Do they?
And noticing the poor condition of some of the armor that you guys are wearing, you know, due to how badly everybody's being stabbed, one of the warriors offers to patch the leather armor that that you guys have.
Oh, wow.
Do they happen to have any shields?
There are no shields here.
Okay, because I think I lost mine in the arena.
Do they
Yeah,
have
you
any
would've.
like
Tali.
finesse weapons, like short swords, daggers, rapier?
There are daggers. There are 5 daggers.
Is there leather armor?
You can take the one. You can take the
Sure.
leather armor from Anton, and I plan to take some chainmail if you'd like that.
I also
mean,
have
many
no
sea
armor.
vessels, but no, the stench.
What do they have for weapons?
This is
Full
what
list?
we're up here in
The
the.
stench? He wore it for a day.
He didn't specify how many spears or
Oh,
battle
yeah.
axes there were. He said there was.
I mean,
2
they
long
can
swords and a
fucking
maul.
wash it for you.
You can't wash that
Yeah.
shit.
It's blood.
like- Are there like more spears than we would need? Like,
There's no like short swords or
You could-
rapiers.
You can
Isaac's
outfit
currently
everybody
carrying
with a spear.
2.
couldn't hear you.
I said there's enough spears to outfit everybody with at least 1 spear, and then have like 3 extras after that. Once again, there's 2
Why
long
don't we
swords.
just
There's a
do this all
maul.
in the IC
There are 2
chat,
battle axes.
right?
Sure,
So it's not
you
like
can do that too. Yeah. As a reminder, you can go into the IC dialogue and ask like questions of the NPCs or other such things, and they will be like, I'm monitoring that, so I can do that thing too. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till Wednesday to ask, interact or ask NPCs questions or sort things out,
Oh,
like
here's
shopping or
a
buying or
text
acquiring
list. Never
certain
mind.
things.
I didn't see this list. I'm sorry.
There are no bows, chill.
How many battle axes were there? It's about the same as spears.
2.
2. Okay, so that's.
I'm not a fighter, but even I can tell these accommodations are quite meager.
Indeed.
If you're traveling overland, so I'll give you sort of the landmarks that they point out to travel. So the first one is map. This one. That's not a good map. Fuck shit. Where's maps 2? There it is. Okay, so if you look at the West Marches, the map that I just recently uploaded, under, like, straight in the center, there's a city called Vales, bordering, it's just right next, just right next to a lake. That harbors a great library. Not great as in good quality, but a gigantic library, filled with all different types of knowledge. And they recommend that if you're looking for information on basically anything, going to Vales would be the first step. If you're traveling over land to get to the Dordian Khanate, then you'll be passing through a number of towns, villages, and other such things that might have, well, that will probably have craftsmen and merchants and stuff fill in the missing equipment that you're looking for.
Great.
Is anyone going to take any of those daggers? Because if not, Carlos is probably going to take them all to stock up.
So we're traveling like 200 fucking miles on foot? God damn it.
I didn't say on foot.
It was implied.
Well, like,
So if you're traveling over land. The people of the monastery are willing to provide you with 2 horses and a cart.
Oh
What just happened?
my. There is a table on the table.
Of course, the 2 horses are like draft horses for the cart. It's not like 2 riding horses and a cart, but
oh shit, my vehicle
Point is-
proficiency is in the wrong thing, unfortunately. Oh well.
Vehicle proficiency.
I have proficiency with wagons, not carts.
what specific kinds of spell components and materials you're looking for, Xane?
All right. I'm glad you asked. Chips of mica, twigs from a tree that has been struck by lightning. Let's see, lodestones and fireflies or phosphorant moss.
Well, they definitely have fireflies. Twigs from a tree that was struck by lightning. That's very specific. That
Look,
was a load
I'm
stuff.
just telling you what I need.
Don't question the
know.
dragon.
Well, it's for a specific spell.
It is first. What is it?
That's for you to find out.
So half of these things are things that I have no. Oh, mica. Well, you definitely. So you can get your flecks of mica and your fireflies, phosphorus moss. That stuff you'll be able to acquire. However, the lodestone and the twigs of a tree struck by lightning, those are things that you'll have to find or create yourself, or
I can
find
work
in
with
another
that.
shop. But
Find a tree, strike it with lightning.
I
Grab
use
the tree
shocking.
and cast shocking grasp.
Yes. Yes.
true.
I don't
I'm
think it works like
assuming
that.
I don't. No, I feel like you would have to put a little bit more effort. 'Cause shocking grasp, while it does give, I'm not gonna talk on my ass. I'm actually gonna look at shocking grasp.
Give me
It still says
materials.
lightning damage.
I don't think it counts. It's like literally struck by
I
lightning.
was gonna say.
Yeah.
He needs to recover his component pouch.
I'm assuming that Anton and
It is lightning springs from your hand to deliver a shock to creature you try to touch. It says
I just
lightning.
don't know if that counts as being
Straight up says
struck.
lightning in it. So
Good enough.
What's your question with Anton?
I'm
Khutula.
assuming that Anton and Isaac would take One long sword each.
I posted in chat. I take a longsword and I take chainmail.
What does Peter
And-
take?
If you'd like to take Anton's leather armor that he had before, you could if you like, or somebody else could.
Peter would take the chainmail because it's heavy armor.
Yep.
Bitch. She's a rug now.
Good.
Okay, so Anton took chainmail, Peter took chainmail. There's one left. Who wants it?
How much
Heavy,
AC does
stinky.
chainmail provide?
I think what?
16.
I have the thing open, so I can just look.
Strength 13th.
But I think
It is chain is chainmail. Yeah, that's just
Chainmail.
straight 16.
Yeah.
Oh
then-
my.
Aren't you limited by how much dex you can add though? Like, what's the limit on?
You don't
Heavy
add
armor
dex.
has none.
You don't
Heavy armor
add
does
dex.
not get dex modifier.
Oh my.
It's stinky.
Plus, you may need to check to see if you have proficiency.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah, this is all just used shit. Like, who fucking cares?
Like the
People
only
have-
person else I think here that could wear that is probably Isaac, and I don't think he's gonna go with that.
No, he's not a heavy armor dude.
I didn't think so. So yeah, it's just the two.
Will be a medium armor dude in a bit
I think it's just the two guys in chainmail, pretty much.
when he can finally afford fucking half plate. Jesus Christ, it's expensive.
Splint would be great.
Oh. Vin runs his fingers through
Okay.
the wire. It is not the best
wire.
craftsmanship, but it will do.
Does Khutula even need it? Oh, actually, I was just a little confused by the focus bit, but never mind.
Arcane Focus. It replaces material components that do not have a cost. Material cost.
But she's a sorceress. I don't know
Yes.
if that would change anything or not.
An Arcane Focus replaces material components that do not have a material cost.
Well, I mean, how am I supposed to find it if I just lost all my shit?
Exactly. We don't
It's a
we don't
you,
have
that's an
anything.
ish you, not an ish me.
I mean, I have an idea, but I'd have to like actually get. It has to work out. We'll get there.
Vin
we all
casts
believe in
all his
communism-
spells with the
I believe in
lyre
you.
at once.
You have to isolate the Bill Bailey Lyre soundtrack, and then next time you play the Lyre, you gotta play that because it's fucking good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh no, he has a mandola. Damn it. Okay, whatever. I'm not changing this. It's a Lyre.
Mandello.
Mandola.
Oh. Hello.
Good night,
Beep, beep, beep.
everyone.
Beep 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 beep.
Okay, I will further highlight the map, and I'll put I'll like actually circle the places you'll be going. So the two places that's been based on your needs have been suggested for you are the town of Vales, and then also they show you on the map where the other Triad sanctuary is that you can acquire specialized weapons and tools.
Did any of these fucking geniuses decide on a price that they were gonna pay us? Because aren't we going along with their stupid plan?
Yeah.
Whoa.
The party to help cover. Oh Jesus Christ! The party to help cover travel expenses is being given 100 gold pieces.
The party itself, so we get to
The
divide.
like you guys are being given 100 gold pieces by the monastery to help you in your travels.
Carlos can have
That's
my share.
That's a decent amount of money.
Yeah, but just divided amongst like all of us doesn't come out to be much.
Be quiet,
It
boy. I'm
works.
giving you my
Sure,
share.
if you can like go on a shopping spree in every town you meet, but they're giving you this because they're sitting there like, here, have this gold. It's so they, pay for lodgings and buy supplies, stuff that cost like a couple silver each. 100 gold, that's 1,000 silver pieces, essentially.
Let's see.
Pretty good.
Are they gonna provide us with any provisions since you mentioned that, like water skins,
Yep.
rations?
Yep. You're gonna get water skins and 10 days of rations for each person.
I have a feeling I'm
well
gonna need to
as,
make
you know,
a.
Didn't the fucking
Traveling
dwarf
cloaks and
tell us that he was explicitly saying like, "Oh, you'll be compensated well, and I'm paying you in advance this time." Didn't they say all that?
he told you that if you guys just decided to. Yes, he did say that. There were a number
Okay.
of caveats along with all the stuff that he said, but you guys have been given pretty good compensation in the sense that they gave you weapons and armor that they had. They're sending you to a place with a written letter saying, hey, give these guys equipment because they're about to go do something for the Triad, which we need them to be able to do well supplied. That also counts as compensation. You're getting 2 horses and a cart. That kind of sounds like pretty good compensation. And also that you're giving you an instrument and free bed and lodging while you're here. Like, pretty good.
So you said water skin and what else?
10 days rations each.
Water skins, traveling cloaks, 10 days rations.
There's 7 of us,
Yeah.
so that's 14 gold apiece, approximately. With 25 silver in change or something, maybe.
There's
I have a feeling I'm gonna
technically
need to
there's
make.
8 of you unless you guys are going to leave Ludwig behind, which now's the time to decide if you actually do want to leave Ludwig
Goodbye.
behind.
I give my share to Isaac. You'll have the rest in full when I'm able, Mr. Stormwind.
Oh,
Oh,
That's okay. I didn't really do it for the money. It was just a bonus.
Oh my.
Well,
okay. Are we leaving Ludwig behind for this
I
next
detect some
chunk of adventure?
history.
I don't know. Who do we want to bring Ludwig around? Like, it's going to be basically an NPC character. Could be useful for some stuff.
Yeah, right.
he's not
He
my
can do
child.
background things as well.
Vin would literally just start walking.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Like,
Okay, goodbye.
Are we bringing Ludwig? Are we bringing Ludwig? Vin would just walk away.
Wow.
Amazing.
You guys started the conversation.
Okay, well, just food for thought. I guess that can be continued through the IC dialogue and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll start next session with getting you guys on the road.
The
As soon as Corwin figures out his work schedule, then we'll be joining in, of course. So essentially, he's been this whole time. Peter Montfort has been, we'll say, secluded in like
Creaming
meditation
his
and prayer with his
pants.
the fellow clergy and all that kind of stuff, trying to sort out the ordeal that he's been in through in his own spiritual way.
2 things. One, I'm probably gonna have to make another character sheet to adjust for these events and all that, because honestly, I've been using a note card to.
yeah,
Trying
it
to keep
seems
track
like
of
we'll
this.
be.
I'm gonna have to make major modifications here.
A lot of work ahead of us.
And the other thing is,
Keep track of all your old shit, and you'll have to reflect your character character sheets for the stuff that you have now, but make sure you keep a track of all the stuff that you used to have, because like
I am.
eventually you'll be going back and retrieving it all. So you have all leveled up.
Hell yeah.
So next week you'll be
Oh
starting the
my.
session with a level up from the great ordeal in the ring, as well as all the good role playing this week, this session.
Let's see
Well done.
what I had planned. Let's see. Oh, everyone, our proficiency bonus goes up to +3. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck.
How much was our
baby.
share on the gold?
I think
14?
14 and change, because 7 doesn't divide evenly into 100. So like 25 silver or something. Some fraction. But we need to go to the change store to have a change exchanged. Who will we
But
trust
you, but-
with the extra gold?
We'll just take 14 gold.
My shiny is gonna be spent on a shield. Probably.
ED6 sneak attack.
Because I no longer have a
Are there any
shield.
more
Having-
questions before we end the session?
Are they going to be giving us other quote unquote necessities like bedrolls or lanterns or tinder boxes, torches,
You
etc.?
can get bedrolls. Yeah, they'll give you bedrolls and tinderboxes and torches and the contents of an adventurer's pack.
I would
Oh,
fucking
adventure
hope
pack, okay.
so.
So everyone just basically gets an adventurer's pack. Awesome.
Yep.
There's 14
And
gold,
the
Avengers pack
following
plus
morning-
equipment.
And the following morning, as you're all preparing to leave, the abbot and abbess hand each of you a flask of holy water.
Thank you.
Tasty.
I don't say anything.
Okay. Is there any other questions or anything else you guys need before we call the session?
Nothing that can't be addressed outside of the session.
Agreed.
Oh fuck.
I'm never gonna see
Wait,
that fiddle
theft.
again.
Okay. I'm never gonna do that. Fuck you.
What?
Oh, so there's no adventurer's pack. Did you mean like explorer's pack?
Explorer's
or-
pack. Sorry, yeah, that's the one. I knew there's explorers and dungeoneers, and it's not dungeoneers.
Explore.
I'm gonna type it out for everyone if they just so they don't have to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carlos.
Good show. Hi, kitty.
Okay, if there's nothing else that you guys need from me, I am gonna sign off, get ready for work in the morning, and yada doody da. Just as a reminder for, I guess, Devon and Kardoc and Seeker, I'm not gonna be around this weekend at all for Arma, so I'm going camping. So don't wait up for me. I'm not coming to either of the ops this weekend.
Have fun.
Might not. Yeah, there might not be a join op because I also won't be available because gonna packing up my shit.
Yeah,
These nuts.
Corwin's working. It's just gonna be Tropal and chill.
Okay, I'm working too.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, now it's
And I'm going to a concert on Saturday.
Oh.
And
which concert?
and going.
Starring Vin.
Hell yeah.
Dude, RuneScape music.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm gonna head to bed then if there's something else.
Good night.
Copy
Be
that.
all.
Good
Where are
night.
you going
you.
camping?
Ontario.
What's the latitude and longitude, and what time will he be awake?
Those are good questions.
points of entries?
I'll let you know when I find out. It's also a
Oh.
good question. I've never been to this campsite before. There will be
Chris,
small
flip the
children in the
table.
areas. Please don't plan anything dangerous. Fuck you.
Oh god, the lag.
Why did Chris do that?
Good luck, everyone. All right, good night, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for the fun
Yeah.
session, and see.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Oh.
Congratulations, everyone.
We're all going to die.
Yeah.
Who flipped the table?
Oh, I wonder who it could be. I wonder.
I'm innocent.
That bitch, Carla.
Wow. Thanks for watching.